Chapter 84. The finals of the Takashi Hoshi tournament began under the eager anticipation of the audience. The first match was Chang Xuanyue's captain, Cheng Qingzhu. It was unknown if Chang Xuanyue had activated a hidden switch in his last match against Hu Qing. In the past, although Chang Xuanyue's strength was not bad, his performance was very steady. From the preliminaries to the official competition, regardless of whether his opponent was strong or weak, he had fought steadily and won steadily. However, ever since his fight with Hu Qing, Chang Xuanyue's attacks had become more and more violent and aggressive. When his skin turned red, the aura emitted from his body was like that of an enraged beast. Moreover, this state was like an invincible mode, as if he was immune to Takashi Hoshi's attacks from the law level. Hu Qing's gravity punch could even flatten a tank, but when it hit Chang Xuanyue's body, it was as if nothing had happened. Now, Cheng Qingzhu's wind attribute Takashi Hoshi's powerful slash turned into a soaring wind dragon and instantly hit Chang Xuanyue's chest. However, Chang Xuanyue was not affected at all except for a small cut on his skin. Is he still human? Wang Lan heard Xing Feng's exclamation. Indeed, could he still be considered human? Xing Feng was not the only one who had this thought. The millions of viewers watching the live broadcast also had this thought. From the beginning of the match, Cheng Qingzhu had been attacking wildly. He knew very well how terrifying Chang Xuanyue was. Even someone as strong as Hu Qing had been beaten to a pulp by him. Cheng Qingzhu had no chance of winning at all. The only lucky thing was that Hu Qing's gravity punch was a blunt blow, while his wind attribute Takashi Hoshi had unparalleled cutting power. Unfortunately, Takashi Hoshi's two attacks, which consumed a lot of energy, had not been able to break Chang Xuanyue's defense. On the other hand, his wind attribute was known for its speed, but he was forced to the corner of the ring. The battle had only been going on for 3 minutes, but there had been more than 3 decisive clashes. At this moment, Cheng Qingzhu's face was covered in sweat and his chest was heaving violently. The entire venue was dead silent. Whether it was the audience, the judges, or the host, they all clenched their fists tightly, unwilling to make sound. Even Director Min, who had absolute control of the show backstage, was staring at the screen without blinking. This match was too intense. Chang Xuanyue was like a monster, approaching Cheng Qingzhu step by step. On the other hand, Cheng was like a small beast hiding from a ferocious beast hunting. He used all kinds of tricks to try to counter the hunter, but every time he failed, he returned empty-handed. Cheng Qingzhu's appearance was appearance, so he could not help but want to help him. At this moment, the audience Hoshis were calm, as there were even fewer bullet comments. There were fewer bullet comments. There were fewer comments. Was broadcast as Hoshi? As Hoshis. Phew. Cheng Qingzhu let out a long breath. He did not have much star power left. If this continued, admitting defeat would be his only option. Therefore, he had to stake everything on one throw. That move was an A-level Takashi Hoshi technique. It was a very powerful A-level Takashi Hoshi technique. He had practiced it hard for 3 years and still could not fully master it. But now it was his last chance. Cheng Qingzhu's eyes suddenly became resolute. He gently lifted one of his feet and spread his arms, making a golden rooster standing on one leg. Chang Xuanyue's eyes were bloodshot. His face was ferocious, as if he was enduring some kind of pain. Wang Lan saw all of this. What was Chang Xuanyue enduring? Were there any side effects from using invincible mode? Just like his phoenix form. Were there any hidden dangers? It should be. Was it reasonable for such a powerful Takashi Hoshi technique to not have any hidden dangers? Was it appropriate to be so abnormal? Cheng Qingzhu's body instantly rippled with cyan wind whistling. Chang Xuanyue, who was approaching step by step, stopped. Suddenly, Cheng Qingzhu's body spun rapidly with one of his feet as a fulcrum. The rapid rotation stirred up a gust of wind. In an instant, it turned into a huge tornado that connected to the barrier. The tornado instantly soared into the sky and turned into a huge four-cornered wind blade that looked like a sharp cone in the void. Xingtian wind erosion. On the judging platform, Bao Longqing stood up excitedly. Xingtian wind erosion? Teacher Bao, do you know this move? This is the ultimate move of Zheng Xiao, the Wind Dragon King, 50 years ago. Xingtian wind erosion is a Takashi Hoshi technique that maximizes the cutting property of wind. It is said that Zheng Xiao used this move to defeat the Diamond King of Glan. Even a hard, 1-meter-thick diamond wall could be cut by a Xingtian wind erosion. I didn't expect it to appear in the arena of the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Listening to Xiao Bao's explanation, the audience all had the same expression as Siguai. Those that didn't know would only think that it was amazing, but those who knew the inside story almost spat out their food. For example, the two middle-aged men who were hiding in Wang Qianfeng's office and watching the live broadcast through the projector. He Mingxue spat out a mouthful of tea. He almost destroyed the high-definition projector that he had bought for 10,000 yuan. Is that necessary? Wang Qianfeng glanced at He Mingxue in disdain. Where did the organizers of the Takashi Hoshi tournament find this judge? Does he download all his information from search engines? Xingtian wind erosion is indeed a grade A Takashi Hoshi technique. But is it as awesome as he said? If it's really that awesome, would it still be a grade A Takashi Hoshi technique? It's true that Zheng Xiao used Xingtian wind erosion to defeat the Diamond King. But that's because he's Zheng Xiao. If it were someone else, even the King of Glass wouldn't be able to break it, let alone the King of Diamonds. Zheng Xiao was born with an extraordinary affinity for the wind attribute. Any wind attribute Takashi Hoshi technique will be multiplied by 3 in his hands. Zheng Xiao's Xingtian wind erosion was close to grade S in power. Besides, Cheng Qingzhu obviously hasn't mastered this technique yet. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Wang Qianfeng sipped his tea leisurely. You think I don't know? Isn't this misleading the audience? So what if it's misleading? Does the audience need to know the truth? Don't they? They won't become Takashi Hoshi. Who doesn't know about those who can become Takashi Hoshi? But I'm interested in this Chang Shuangyue kid. Oh, you're just curious? No, I keep feeling that this Chang Shuangyue is a bit strange. His Takashi Hoshi technique is a bit different from what I remember. It's not the berserker form, nor is it the blood-severing secret technique. It feels like a Takashi Hoshi talent. Who cares? Let's just keep watching. As soon as he finished speaking, the wind blade in the sky rushed toward Chang Shuangyue's chest. Chang Shuangyue's skin turned even redder. Instead of dodging, he raised his head and threw a punch at the wind blade in the sky. Oh my god, is Chang Shuangyue crazy? He actually punched it? F***, hot-blooded, domineering, this is a real man. A real man punches it. Go! Exclamations and shouts came from the mouths of the audience watching the live broadcast. Cheng Qingzhu clenched her teeth tightly. Her body merged with the wind blade. She kicked away Chang Shuangyue's fist and slammed into Chang Shuangyue's chest. No. Cheng Qingzhu's face changed greatly. Chang Shuangyue's chest didn't feel any flesh. It felt like she had kicked a piece of fine iron. Chang Shuangyue's body kept retreating. The terrifying impact forced him to keep retreating. His legs were firmly nailed to the ground like 2 iron stakes, leaving long grooves on the hard concrete floor. Suddenly, Chang Shuangyue, who had lowered his head, slowly raised his head. His twisted face revealed a ferocious smile. The big hand grabbed Cheng Qingzhu's leg, and the wind dissipated. The whole world turned quiet, and Cheng Qingzhu was like a little chick that was being held in the hand. She looked so helpless, weak, and pitiful. Crack! A crisp sound was heard. It was so clear. Chang Shuangyue actually broke Cheng Qingzhu's leg. Ah! Before Cheng Qingzhu could scream, the audience at the scene had already exclaimed. Since it was an actual battle, there would be injuries. Since it was an injury, it was normal to break a leg. There were many ways to get injured. There were also many ways to break a leg. However, it would be too bloody and cruel to break his leg as if he was breaking a corn cob. F***. Chang Shuangyue is breaking the rules, isn't he? According to the rules, it's not a violation. However, no one would do this in public in a competition. Is he going to go all the way? Chang Shuangyue didn't stop. Suddenly, he grabbed Cheng Qingzhu's hands with both hands. Crack, like wringing a towel, he twisted Cheng Qingzhu's arms 180 degrees. This is too much. So cruel. Is he a pervert? F***, he really did it? Stop. Stop. The competition is over. Chang Shuangyue is the winner. Chang Shuangyue, you're not allowed to hurt Cheng Qingzhu. Let him go. The host lost his composure in panic and hurriedly shouted. Cheng Qingzhu was abandoned on the arena by Chang Shuangyue like a piece of trash. Chang Shuangyue silently turned around and walked out of the arena step by step. Wherever he went, the audience scattered as if they were avoiding the plague. Such a peerless demon exuded a horrifying aura of brutality. Backstage, Xing Feng's Adam's apple moved up and down. After a long time, he came back to his senses. It's better to admit defeat in front of him. I'll go out for a while. Can you wait for me for 5 minutes? Wang Lan stood up and said calmly. Okay, but if you treat him now, your astral power, no problem. Wang Lan rushed out of the backstage in a flash. This scene was naturally broadcast by the live camera. Is Wolf King going to the toilet? Did he pee his pants? You're the one who peed your pants. Did you forget that Wolf King revealed that he was a medical awakened Takashi Hoshi? He's going to treat Cheng Qingzhu. He's going to participate in the competition soon. Isn't this a waste of astral power? Brother Wolf King is so kind and warm. The two above have no sympathy. They deserve to be single forever. F***, don't think that I won't scold you just because you're a girl. Are we not sympathetic? We're analyzing the pros and cons rationally, okay? Brother, you're arguing rationally with a girl? From this point of view, you're not rational enough. I was wrong. You're right. You're right. Cheng Qingzhu was carried down on a stretcher and went straight to the infirmary. In the infirmary, the medical awakened Takashi Hoshi was already on standby. When he saw Cheng Qingzhu's injuries, he shook his head gloomily. I can't treat this injury. Her bones have been twisted into a fried dough twist. Unless it's an advanced medical awakened Takashi Hoshi, she'll definitely be crippled. Besides, we can't delay any longer. We have to find an advanced Takashi Hoshi to treat her within 6 hours. Otherwise, even the advanced medical Takashi Hoshi won't be able to save her. Miss G, even you can't do anything about it. There are many kinds of medical awakened. I can heal wounds, but it's not the wound that's the problem. It's the bones that have been crushed into flour. Let me do it. A voice drifted into everyone's ears like a cool breeze. Wang Lan, who was wearing a moon-white mask, slowly walked towards the unconscious Cheng Qingzhu. Chapter 85. Wang Lan frowned when he saw Cheng Qingzhu's injury. He didn't think the injury was troublesome. Instead, he felt that Chang Shuangyue was cruel and ruthless. They were all here for the competition. It wasn't like there was any deep hatred between them. Did he have to be so cruel? Fortunately, Cheng Qingzhu was unconscious. How much pain would he have to go through if he was awake? Contestant Little Wolf, it's hard to treat such an injury. I know you're good at healing, but his injury is different from Hu Qing's. Miss G looked at Wang Lan and paused. She thought he couldn't do anything about the injury. It's okay. Then, he pressed Cheng Qingzhu's leg. With a surge of astral power, Wang Lan's palm emitted a layer of dim light. Under the light, the severely swollen leg slowly recovered, as if time was rewound. The other staff members didn't think much of it. They thought all the Takashi Hoshi medical skills were miraculous. But it was different in Miss G's eyes. Pure Takashi Hoshi medical skills? No, it's not Takashi Hoshi. It's a bloodline talent? Miss G widened her eyes in shock. She couldn't believe it. The Takashi Hoshi medical skills were the attribute change of astral power of the yang attribute. By stimulating the target's cells in the same way as the Takashi Hoshi medical skills, it could save the patient. But even the powerful Takashi Hoshi medical skills had limitations. For example, his bones had been crushed into powder. Before the treatment, his bones had to be put back together. Also, completely crushed bones couldn't be restored with astral power. Therefore, in Miss G's eyes, he would be disabled in the future even if he could keep his leg and hand. Could he still fight if his bones were made of flour? However, pure medical skills, or in other words, pure medical bloodline talents, were different. They often had a miraculous effect. Take the Shun family, which had been wiped out by a mysterious force 17 years ago. They were known as the Jade Cicada clan of the Jade State and the Takashi Hoshi world's Tang Seng's flesh. Their bodies contained the miraculous power of life. As long as their bloodline talent was awakened, as long as they didn't die, their healing ability could revive them to their peak condition. Unfortunately, the family that was regarded as a treasure of the Jade State was inexplicably massacred. So far, the Jade State had not found the murderer. Wang Lan had finished treating Cheng Qingzhu's leg. Her leg, which had been completely deformed and twisted, was restored to its original state in such a short time. Miss G's breathing suddenly stopped. She quickly came to Cheng Qingzhu's side and gently touched Cheng Qingzhu's leg. She closed her beautiful eyes and sensed the injury on Cheng Qingzhu's leg. The shattered bones have been completely restored. Not only have they been restored, there aren't even any cracks on them, as though they were never injured at all. Miss G opened her eyes and looked at Wang Lan in disbelief. At this moment, Wang Lan had already retracted his hand. Cheng Qingzhu's arms had also recovered after more than 10 seconds of healing. Let's welcome contestants Little Wolf and Xingfeng to the stage. The announcer's excited voice sounded from the loudspeaker. Wang Lan took the towel and wiped his forehead. It should be fine now. I'm going to go on stage. Wait. Miss G suddenly called out. What's your name? I'm participating anonymously. I don't plan to reveal my identity. It's impossible for a Takashi Hoshi to be unknown. However, I've never heard of your medical skills before. So, you haven't debuted yet, right? I'm not participating in this competition to debut. You're still a student? As soon as Ms. G's guess was made, Wang Lan couldn't help but shudder. He hurriedly left. If he didn't leave now, he would be stripped naked. His figure flashed, and he disappeared without a trace. Seeing Wang Lan flee, the staff in the infirmary couldn't help but cover their mouths and laugh. What are you laughing at? Do you think I'll eat you? Miss G coldly rolled her eyes at the crowd. It seems that this contestant Little Wolf is really naive. Even an experienced driver would want to spend more time with Miss G. Is this the reason why you're still here? Sorry, I'll leave now. Contestant Cheng Qingzhu, take him away. When he wakes up, he'll be alive and kicking. Why are you still leaving him here? Wang Lan ran towards the stage. Jiang Xinyu slowly walked towards him. She casually tossed a mid-level soul orb into Wang Lan's hand. In an instant, Wang Lan absorbed the soul orb and recovered half of his astral power. On the stage, Xingfeng was already standing in a corner. Facing the cheers of the audience, he folded his arms and closed his eyes, motionless like a mountain. The cameras in the venue rotated 360 degrees without any blind spots, transmitting Xingfeng's elegant demeanor to every TV audience. So cool. This Xingfeng really has the temperament of an expert. Just standing there, he has the demeanor of an expert. His temperament is not bad, but I still like Wolf King more. Me too. Wolf King is more genuine. He's pretentious, cute, kind-hearted, and skilled in martial arts. Although he's wearing a mask, he's purer than all the other contestants. Those who don't wear masks are as fake as if they're wearing masks, but those who wear masks are as genuine as if they're not. Maybe this is the one and only Wolf King. Wolf King knows that there are 2 matches coming up, but he still doesn't care about his astral power consumption to save Cheng Qingzhu. It's obvious that in his heart, a match is far less important than a Takashi Hoshi. As the audience waited anxiously, Wang Lan appeared in the aisle opposite the stage. Wang Lan's appearance caused an uproar among the audience. Many of them even stood up to applaud Wang Lan. Okay, contestant Little Wolf is on the stage. Before the match, I'll announce a new rule on behalf of the organizers. Contestants are not allowed to injure the other contestants unnecessarily. Once determined by the judges as intentional injury, the contestant will be disqualified. Do the 2 contestants have any objections? No objections. No objections. Okay, then I'll now announce the second semi-final match of the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Little Wolf versus Xing Feng. The match officially begins. The moment the host finished speaking, the audience on the stage suddenly stood up excitedly and exclaimed in unison. This situation also made the two contestants who were about to make a move stop. Because on the big screen, they saw Chung Qingzhu walk out from the backstage unscathed and come to the audience seats. Chung Qingzhu's injuries were severe. Everyone present saw it. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that her whole body was twisted into a fried dough twist. How long has it been since the class started? 5 minutes? How could she appear so unscathed? Chung Qingzhu came to the backstage and bowed deeply to Wang Lan. After a few seconds, she straightened up and turned to leave. You can heal such an injury so quickly. You're the best Takashi Hoshi healer I've ever heard of. Why did you come to the competition? Xing Feng suddenly asked. To fight against you. To practice actual combat. Yes. What a naive idea. Most of the people who come to the Takashi Hoshi tournament are here to become famous and debut. A small number of people are here for the prize money. I'm afraid that other than you, no one would want to practice actual combat with people like us who have already given up on themselves. What about you? Why? To become famous. To earn money. To become a big star comfortably and to live a comfortable life. Xing Feng smiled bitterly with self-mockery. In the past, when I was young like you, I also dreamed of being famous. But later on, I gradually recognized myself. It's important to know one's own limitations. I'm not the chosen one. I'm just an ordinary person among the masses. You might not believe it, but I once thought of becoming someone like the 5 emperors. When I was young, it was when the Southern Flame Emperor rose to prominence. Do you know that the Southern Yin Emperor was the national idol of my generation? He was a role model. The Southern Yin Emperor was a commoner from a poor family, but he became the most dazzling star of that era. However, I failed the college entrance exam, mixed in with the army, and joined the Wasteland Reclaimers for nearly 10 years. I was still star-blazing. My talent wasn't higher than the people around me. My opportunities weren't better than others, and I didn't work harder than others. I seemed to be a rivet fixed in that eye. Since my life was already destined, why couldn't I live a more comfortable life? Be a star, act in movies, and live the rest of my life comfortably? Why did I have to risk my life like this, or die in an alternate dimension one day and become food for exotic beasts? In the world of Takashi Hoshi, it didn't make much of a difference whether I was there or not. Wasn't I talking too much nonsense? These words weren't just my thoughts. They were the thoughts of all the Takashi Hoshi who had given up on their identity as Takashi Hoshi and preferred to be ordinary people. It didn't matter if it was the celebrities who were treated as national idols or the Takashi Hoshi who watched over people's homes and were hired thugs. They were all Takashi Hoshi deserters. Although it was humiliating, it wasn't against the law. We were afraid. We were afraid of the days when we could die at any time. Without goals and dreams, how could a salted fish dream of leaping through the Dragon's Gate? You shouldn't have said that. Wang Lan smiled bitterly. Yes, I shouldn't have said it, saying it would be tantamount to lifting their veil. They would go from being national idols to being despised by everyone, and I would gain nothing and be cursed as an enemy of the entire country. However, I still said it because I felt inferior. I felt inferior when I saw you. You're a medical Takashi Hoshi. You came to this stage to train yourself in actual combat. I'm a lightning Takashi Hoshi, but I'm trying to curry favor for fame and to live a comfortable life. Tell me, what are you thinking? You have such strong medical abilities. You can get countless soul orbs just by lying down. As long as you have a need, there will be many Takashi Hoshi willing to be at your beck and call. You'll be a key target of protection no matter which team you join. You don't have to risk your life or go to the battlefield to kill the enemy. You just have to treat the injuries of the brothers who are injured and retreat from the battlefield. You can even refuse to go to the front line and wait for the treatment to be given after the battle. However, you have amazing combat abilities. You're only at the middle stage of the Star Glory stage. Are you a healer? Huh? Don't you have the awareness of being a healer? Xing Feng suddenly roared agitatedly, as if he was venting the shame in his heart. He was a lightning Takashi Hoshi who had given up on his dream. However, the medical Takashi Hoshi in front of him had picked up his dream. Xing Feng felt weak standing next to Wang Lan, let alone fighting with Wang Lan. Well, contestant Xing Feng, don't be too agitated. Actually, you're just imagining things. The match has already started 3 minutes ago. Let's start. Wang Lan casually dispelled the awkward atmosphere. He cupped his fists and bowed slightly. Contestant Xing Feng, please advise me. I admit defeat. Chapter 86. What? Wang Lan looked at Xing Feng in astonishment. I admit defeat. Wow. Dan Xingfeng raised his head and looked at Wang Lan seriously as he said those 3 words. The audience exclaimed in unison. Some of them even stood up unconsciously. Admit defeat? How can you admit defeat? I spent money to buy the ticket. You don't even want to fight, and you admit defeat? Yeah, I voted for you. I even wanted to see your lightning thunder steps. You actually admit defeat? F***CK, I bet on you to win. You actually made me lose money? It's fine if you can't win. But you admit defeat without even fighting? The audience's uproar was not loud, but it was not quiet either. But it was like a needle that penetrated the protective shield and reached Xing Feng's ears. At this moment, Xing Feng's heart was really hurt. If one had no heart, one would not be sad. If one's heart was numb, one would not feel pain. But Xing Feng suddenly realized. He once gave up on himself. He gave up on his dream of becoming a Takashi Hoshi. He was willing to sink into depravity and become an ordinary person far away from the world. To put it nicely, he said that he had seen through life and death. He saw through the world of mortals just to spend the rest of his life in peace. In fact, it was nothing more than a cowardly escape. The audience's words were like a sharp knife that stabbed into Xing Feng's heart. Takashi Hoshi was not an actor. The Battle of Takashi Hoshi was not for you to watch. It was not for you to gamble. But what reason did Xing Feng have to refute? What qualifications did he have to quibble? Before this, when Wang Lan turned and left to save Cheng Qingzhu, whose limbs were cruelly twisted, didn't Xing Feng think like this? Did he do this? You came to be an actor. How could you blame them for treating you as an actor? Was it wrong to give up on Takashi Hoshi? Of course not. Was it wrong to want to be famous and make money easily? Of course not. Was it wrong to be tired of fighting and want to spend the rest of his life in peace? Of course not. What was wrong was what was in your mind. The good hated the evil, and the evil hated the good. Xing Feng's way of thinking had changed. That was why he hated himself for falling into depravity. He hated his heart that had lost its faith because of numbness. Only by not forgetting one's original intentions can one achieve success. Is it too late for me to return to the battlefield now? Xing Feng asked himself as he slowly turned around and left. Wait, contestant Xing Feng, are you sure you want to admit defeat? It was now the semi-finals of the Takashi Hoshi tournament. As long as they won this round, not only would they receive a 1,000,000 yuan prize, they would also have a chance to compete for the throne of the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Are you really going to give up the honor that is right in front of you? The host tried to salvage the situation. In your eyes, this is an honor, but in my eyes, it is not. I went the wrong way. I want to go back. I forfeit the competition. As he spoke, Xing Feng silently turned to look at Wang Lan. Brother Little Wolf, I know you should be very young. As someone who has been through this before, I'll give you a piece of advice. Don't ever get lost in the future. If you're numb, think about your experience in the Takashi Hoshi tournament. What did you come here for? What is your original intention? To walk in the wind and rain, to forge ahead. Xing Feng disappeared at the end of the ring. The program team was instantly busy adjusting the pace of the competition. Successfully entered the finals. Reward: for 1,000 experience points, for 100 skill points. A notification sounded in his mind. At this moment, the internet was in an uproar. What's wrong with Xing Feng? Why did he suddenly change? He was clearly filled with fighting spirit before. In the previous round, he was even asked if he was confident in becoming the champion. He even said that although he wasn't absolutely confident, he would do his best to fight the competition. Yeah, Xing Feng's strength is actually not inferior to Wolf King's. His lightning attribute is not restrained by his fire attribute. His Takashi Hoshi level is higher than Wolf King's. His combat experience and basic skills are not below Wolf King's. If they fought seriously, it's hard to say who would win. Yeah, why did he suddenly admit defeat? He should be scared. Xing Feng is trash. He shouldn't be scared. He just changed his mind. Are there any psychoanalysts who can analyze what's wrong with Xing Feng? Why did he suddenly forfeit? Same here. At the same time, the Takashi Hoshi competition finals. In order to ensure the time of the live broadcast, the TV station also prepared a backup plan in case something unexpected happened. After all, this kind of thing had happened many times. When celebrity guests were invited to perform, there would always be a heavyweight star opening the show. Naturally, the corresponding preparations would be made in the middle. But did the millions of viewers care about the star's performance? No, what they cared about was how this highly anticipated competition ended so anticlimactically. The semifinals were only half an hour away from the championship. Even if you had something to do, you wouldn't be in a hurry, right? While the entire internet was debating, a post analyzing the psychological process of Xing Feng caused endless waves and was crazily reposted by countless people. His name is Xing Feng. Takashi Hoshi awakened in the 5002nd batch. That year, he was young. That year, he looked up at the starry sky in high spirits. That year, the Southern Yin Emperor proved his Tao in a battle. His power shook the entire blue planet, and he became one of the youngest 5 emperors. In the 5005th batch, Xing Feng didn't get into one of the 4 Cebu Gakuen that all Takashi Hoshi dreamed of. He didn't even get into one of the top Cebu Gakuen. Instead, he went to the Northwest Cebu Gakuen that many people had never heard of. In the 5010th batch, Xing Feng retired from the Northeast military region. After 5 years of military service, Xing Feng was no longer the high-spirited youth. He was now a common person in the army of 2 million Takashi Hoshi. That year, his idol was still like the sun in the sky, but he was no longer the youth who chased after his dreams. After that, Xing Feng joined the Wasteland Reclaimer Army. In the past 8 years, his former comrades fell one after another. Many brothers who were laughing and chatting with each other yesterday died on the battlefield the next day. Many brothers who were bravely fighting on the battlefield the day before packed up and said they were going home to get married and have children. Fighting, disappointment, disappearing, parting. Xing Feng was tired of this kind of life, where he didn't know if there would be a tomorrow. He was getting more and more tired of it. Finally, in the 5018th batch, he made a decision. He would quit the Wasteland Reclaimer Army and return to our big city. He would give up the glory of being a Takashi Hoshi and return to being an ordinary person. If he wanted to return to being an ordinary person, making a name for himself was naturally the most comfortable life. He chose to participate in the Takashi Hoshi tournament. This was a very fast path, but was he really willing to accept it? He thought he was, but in fact he wasn't. When he saw that Little Wolf was participating anonymously, he asked Little Wolf why he wanted to participate in the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Little Wolf's simple answer was that he wanted to train himself for real combat. Such a naive answer, but it touched Xing Feng's heart. Such a simple reason, just like when Xing Feng first became a Takashi Hoshi. At that time, Xing Feng was as pure as Little Wolf. Just like how many people thought of Little Wolf. Although he wore a mask, he let us see his purity. Although Xing Feng and the others did not have masks on their faces, they were always wearing a mask of numbness. Chang Qingzhu's limbs were broken by Chang Shuangyue, which reminded Xing Feng of his comrade who had fallen beside him on the battlefield. At that moment, Little Wolf stood up because he was a medical Takashi Hoshi. It was his duty to save his comrade. However, what did Xing Feng say at that time? If you go now, what about the competition later? Little Wolf said, it's okay. He then turned around without hesitation. At this moment, Xing Feng felt ashamed in front of Little Wolf's pure personality. Not only was he ashamed of Little Wolf's personality, but he was also ashamed of his past self. Back then, he was just like Little Wolf, but he did not know when he had abandoned his past self and became the person he used to hate. Little Wolf was a medical Takashi Hoshi, and he was a very strong one. He had only been gone for a few minutes, and Chung Qingzhu had returned unscathed. Such a strong medical Takashi Hoshi could clearly live a life that Xing Feng would be envious of. However, what about Little Wolf? He was strong, and his combat skills, Takashi Hoshi skills, and actual combat experience were not inferior to any professional Takashi Hoshi who had been through hundreds of battles and had experienced life and death. Little Wolf was just a medical awakened, but he had the heart of a warrior. As for Xing Feng, as a warrior, he already had the heart of a retired old man long ago. Little Wolf was like a mirror in front of Xing Feng, and his conversation with Little Wolf was more like a conversation with his past self. He used to have a dream to be like the Southern Yin Emperor. Even if he could not stand at such a high position, he hoped to be able to make a name for himself through hard work. However, reality drowned him in a sea of people. He thought that it was because he was born ordinary and was destined to be unable to realize his dream. However, after seeing Little Wolf, he realized that it was not because fate was unfair, but because he had not worked hard enough. At least compared to Little Wolf, he was indeed like that. His extinguished heart was reignited. He did not want to waste his life on this stage, not even for a second. Therefore, he chose to admit defeat and give the stage to Little Wolf. As for himself, he might have gone home to pack his luggage and plan to go back to the battlefield. Xing Feng, I wish you all the best. I hope you can borrow the strength of the wind and soar to the sky in one fell swoop. This post was very long, but it seemed to be a portrayal of Xing Feng's heart. However, everyone knew that the person who wrote this post was definitely not Xing Feng. This was because he might not have returned home at this time. Then who could it be? Everyone was curious about the person who wrote the post, but in the end, they could only see an ID called Star Tears. There was no other substantial information. In an old-fashioned neighborhood in Sioux City, a young girl stood up gently, drew the curtains, and walked to the balcony. She raised her head and looked at the sky. The sky was clear, but there were no stars. A teardrop slowly slid down the girl's cheek. She cried silently, but suddenly smiled. She wiped her tears and smiled at the same time. Ding dong, the doorbell rang. The girl hurriedly wiped her tears and went to the door to look through the peephole. Then, she opened the door with a gentle smile on her face. A phone, you're back? Xing Feng stood at the door, not daring to look into the girl's eyes. He lowered his head silently. Tears, I'm leaving. The girl's eyes overflowed with tears again, and they fell to the ground with a plop. Are you going back to explore? When are you coming back? At the end of next year. I just called the boss. He said that he's short of manpower. I'll go and lead a team. I could bring 20 people with me. Exploring is very dangerous. You have to be careful. Don't be careless, and don't force yourself. If the exotic beasts are fierce, you have to wait until the team gathers before you go with everyone. If you encounter danger, hide. Tears, there's one thing. I want to ask you, what is it? Let's get married tomorrow, okay? I've delayed you for so many years. You're almost 30. I heard that Granny has started to introduce you to someone. Although, I'm sorry for being so careless, but they're short of manpower. They wanted to go tomorrow night. The next time I come back, it'll be another year and a half. I'm afraid that when I come back, you'll be married. Okay, the girl said softly. Really? Really? Xing Feng scratched the back of his head and smiled. He smiled like the fool 18 years ago. Why are you still standing at the door? Come in. Chapter 88. Dear friends in the audience, as well as those in front of the TV, because contestant Xing Feng has forfeited, our contestant Little Wolf has entered the finals without much effort. Due to the adjustments made by the organizers, tonight's battle was supposed to start at 9 o'clock sharp, but due to an accident, it will start 10 minutes earlier. It is now 8:49:30. I now announce that the long-awaited finals of the third season of the Sioux City Takashi Hoshi tournament has officially begun. Let's warmly welcome the contestants from both sides onto the stage. Contestant Chang Shuangyue, known as the blood-colored god of war. Also, contestant Little Wolf, known as the legendary Wolf King. Please give him a round of applause. Amidst the stirring music, Wang Lan slowly walked onto the stage with steady steps. Chang Shuangyue was a strong opponent, but also a dangerous one. His cruelty and ruthlessness had been deeply rooted in people's hearts through the previous two battles. It could be said that from now on, all the Takashi Hoshi contestants who had yet to fight him would be afraid of him, even if they knew his identity. But Wang Lan was definitely not one of them. It wasn't because Wang Lan was strong enough to ignore Chang Shuangyue's cruelty and ruthlessness, but because Wang Lan could withstand it. Takashi Hoshi's healing skill was to heal oneself first, then heal others. The effect of healing oneself was several times better than healing others. Your defense is indestructible, can't be broken. My immortal body can't be broken. In the end, it was hard to say who would be the one to die. Chang Shuangyue stood quietly in the distance, his face twisted. Even if there was a smile on his face, it was a kind of sinister smile that made people shudder. Wang Lan frowned slightly. Chang Shuangyue seemed to be even stranger than before. His face was twisted to an exaggerated degree, as if he was suffering some kind of indescribable pain. Contestant Chang Shuangyue, you look like you are in pain. Are you feeling unwell? The host seemed to have received some instructions from backstage, and suddenly asked Chang Shuangyue. No, I'm fine. His voice was thick and heavy like a drum. Are you sure you're all right? Although the finals were important, the physical condition of the contestants was also very important. If you feel unwell, we can postpone the match and let you see a doctor. Cut the crap, there's none. Good. Since contestant Chang Shuangyue is fine, I will announce the rules of the competition. Especially for contestant Chang Shuangyue, the referees added a rule at the last minute. You're not allowed to injure Takashi Hoshi unless absolutely necessary. If the referees determine that you intentionally injure him, you will be disqualified immediately. Do you two understand? Understood. Got it. Then, I officially announce that the competition has begun. The moment he finished speaking, Wang Lan's figure instantly dissipated and rushed toward Chang Shuangyue. The moment the host finished speaking, Chang Shuangyue's skin turned red like a cooked crab. Wang Lan held Ghost Weep in his hand and appeared in front of Chang Shuangyue like a mirror-like shadow. He waved his sword and turned it into a shining silver fan. The killer move hidden in it was aimed directly at Chang Shuangyue's eyes. Damn, he used a killer move right away? As expected of Wolf Cub, he is as sharp as ever. In all of Wang Lan's previous matches, except for the last one where he made the first move, he had never been able to gain the upper hand. It was partly because of his lack of experience, but also because of other reasons. This time, Chang Shuangyue didn't look like an agile fighter. If he still couldn't gain the upper hand, then Wang Lan should really slap himself. Clank! Although Chang Shuangyue's movement wasn't as fast as Wang Lan's, his reaction speed wasn't slow. The moment Ghost Weep was about to pierce his eyes, Chang Shuangyue quickly raised his palms to block Ghost Weep's sharpness. Ghost Weep stabbed his palms, as if it was stabbing Wang Lan's PS armor. The moment he blocked Wang Lan's sword attack, Chang Shuangyue's hands turned into knives and chopped at Wang Lan's head. The speed of the knife was faster than the eye could see. Chang Shuangyue's hand was still in the air, but it had already chopped at Wang Lan's head. Wang Lan's figure was split into two by the knife. Many of the audience screamed at this moment. Damn, no way. He was killed instantly? Are you blind? That's an afterimage. Wang Lan's figure disappeared after being split into two. The next moment, he appeared above Chang Shuangyue's head. The flaming knife in his hands emitted a golden light. Golden flames? Many of the girls in the audience had their eyes lit up. Girls were born with a soft spot for beautiful things. Didn't that golden flame look like the gold in the old vermilion bird's gold? Wang Lan waved the golden flaming knife and chopped at Chang Shuangyue's shoulder. Whoosh! A burst of green smoke rose and left a scratch on Chang Shuangyue's shoulder. But in an instant, the scratch wiggled and disappeared. Chang Shuangyue wasn't affected at all. He turned around and chopped Wang Lan's body in half. Wang Lan's figure turned into a stream of light and appeared in front of Chang Shuangyue's chest again in the blink of an eye. The flaming knife in his hand danced, and a gorgeous flame burst out of Chang Shuangyue's body. What a beautiful flame. Is this the legendary true sun fire? Did you watch too many cartoons or something? Have you never studied physics? Flames are a kind of infrared ray. Different colors represent different temperatures. Ordinary flames are red or orange. Golden flames have a higher temperature than red flames. That's right. Don't talk nonsense if you don't understand. Even if you haven't seen the tail flames of a fighter jet, haven't you seen blue flames in your gas stove at home? Science guys can't be messed with. The two honest guys upstairs want to bully him. What should we do? Someone sneaked into our team of science guys. Find him. Blue flames have a higher temperature than red flames, but it also has to do with the burning material. The blue flame of natural gas is determined by the material, not the temperature. The color of gas combustion and plasma combustion is not enough. Drag that spy out and shoot him. There were many people in the comment section. When they saw Wang Lan use the golden flame, they were all excited. However, the temperature of the golden flame was unable to hurt Chang Shuangyue in his red-skinned state. Several attacks were ineffective. Moreover, Chang Shuangyue's speed was extremely fast. Almost at the same time, Wang Lan attacked. He counterattacked within 0.2 seconds. If Wang Lan could not perfectly switch between the two Takashi Hoshi techniques, the Starry Moon Sword Dance and the Flaming Knife, he would have been defeated by Chang Shuangyue. Wang Lan, this kid, his talent is really scary. Just from the time he can ignore the time interval between Takashi Hoshi techniques, his future is limitless. Wang Qianfeng could not help but sigh. In the world of Takashi Hoshi, hard work was indispensable, but talent was the most important thing. You can't use talent to negate hard work, but the same amount of hard work depended on talent to determine victory. As for Wang Lan's talent, she had already eliminated 99.9% of her peers from the same generation. At the very least, there has never been anyone in recorded history who can ignore the time interval between Takashi Hoshi techniques. But this only makes him invincible. It's still difficult to win. That Chang Shuangyue and Star Blazing are so strong. They shouldn't be nameless, right? How did they end up fighting in the Takashi Hoshi tournament? I checked this yesterday. Chang Shuangyue used to explore the Northwest. 2 years ago, his team was ambushed by exotic beasts and suffered heavy casualties. In the end, only 3 of them survived. After that, he left the exploration team and returned to Sioux City. There, he opened a dojo to teach people how to fight. His strength, from the data, it doesn't seem that strong. And the Takashi Hoshi techniques he's using now are not recorded. Also, he's a very gentle person. I don't know why he's acting so tyrannical. The data and the person we investigated seem to be 2 different people. But there's no doubt that it's him. We'll pay more attention to this person. With this kind of temperament, it's hard to avoid problems. Look, Wang Lan has changed his tactics. He Ming Shue reminded. Wang Qianfeng looked up at the screen again. This time, Wang Lan pulled away from Chang Shuangyue all the way to the edge of the ring. His face was a little pale. More than half of his star power had been used up. Chang Shuangyue was approaching with large strides. His burly body shook the ground as he ran. Footprints were left on the concrete floor under his feet. No one who walked the path of stacking armor had a good ending. That was because they couldn't keep up with the ever-changing situation of the battlefield. But if the strength of the stacking armor was to the point that even the assassins could only look on in the dust, then it would still be a successful Iron Tortoise. It couldn't be denied that Chang Shuangyue's Takashi Hoshi technique was a success. Wang Lan's countless attacks were nothing more than a tickle to him, and Wang Lan only needed to take 1 hit from him to be finished. Just now, he had used all his strength to use 1-punch 3 strength. Even the bones in his hand had been shattered, but it didn't cause any damage to his opponent. It could be seen that if he wanted to break through his defense, he would need to use even more powerful attacks. He still had 800 skill points left. This was Wang Lan's biggest asset. Flaming Blade, add points. Wang Lan quickly added points to Flaming Blade to Silver 9, while Chang Shuangyue was rushing over. When Flaming Blade was upgraded to the highest level, an epiphany instantly flowed through his mind. Wang Lan's lips curled into a confident smile. What the hell is Wang Lan doing? He's already so close. Why isn't he moving? Wang Qianfeng frowned as he asked. Who knows? Actually, there's a way to break through Chang Shuangyue's defense, and that is to use the purple flame blade. He Mingxue said in a low voice. Are you kidding me? You practiced the flaming blade for 7 years before you could master the purple flame blade. Wang Lan has only been practicing it for 2 months. If he can master the purple flame blade in such a short time, I'll eat this coffee table. Wang Qianfeng roared impatiently. Wang Qianfeng was the kind of person who didn't like to make unrealistic assumptions. Any proposal or plan had to be within the realm of possibility. This was true for everyone. You want Wang Lan to master the purple flame blade in 2 months? Why don't you let him master the phoenix form in 3 years? However, on the screen, Wang Lan suddenly moved. His hands opened into palms, and 2 purple flame blades instantly appeared above his palms. It was so enchanting, so beautiful. Wang Qianfeng's expression was petrified. He stared blankly at the scene of Wang Lan holding the purple flame blade as he charged towards Chang Shuangyu. How do you plan to eat the coffee table? Steam? Braise? Or stir-fry? Chapter 89. You still have the nerve to make fun of me? Have you been living like a dog for the past 7 years? You took 7 years to master the purple flame blade, and he mastered it in 2 months. If I were you, I would have killed myself. Wang Qianfeng quickly retorted. Me? When Wang Lan learned the flame blade on the spot, I had already accepted my fate. Isn't it good to live happily? Why should I compare myself with a monster? Do you still remember Sir Hao Yu? Back then, he insisted on comparing himself with Yan Emperor, but what happened in the end? His beliefs collapsed, and he's still in an autistic state. In the arena, Wang Lan leaped and stabbed his purple flame blade into Chang Shuangyue's shoulders. Chang Shuangyue seemed to have unparalleled confidence in his own defense. The corner of his mouth hooked up into a faint sneer, and he clawed at Wang Lan's shoulder. Puqi, warm blood spurted out, and Wang Lan and Chang Shuangyue's movements paused. In an instant, more than a dozen cameras quickly changed angles, broadcasting this frozen scene to the thousands of households in front of their televisions. Chang Shuangyue's hand was only an inch away from Wang Lan's shoulder, but Wang Lan's 2 flame blades had already pierced through Chang Shuangyue's defense and stabbed into his shoulder. It went in front of his chest and out of his back. F***CK, that's a sharp blade. I didn't even see what happened. Can someone explain? Explain my ass. Go back and watch the replay. The Wolf King is indeed the Wolf King. He still has a trick up his sleeve. Purple flames, the highest flame in the legends. Upstairs, the legendary highest flame is colorless. It has no shadow or shape, and it kills people in an instant. Can it still be considered a flame if it has no color or shape? Idiot! Are you an idiot? Flames are the manifestation of infrared rays. If you can't see color, then there's no infrared ray? How did you go to middle school? You want to argue with me? I have a primary school diploma. And you asked me how I went to middle school? Is there a hole in your brain? Boss, I can't afford to offend you. Goodbye. In an instant, Wang Lan put away his flame saber and once again punched Chang Shuangyue's chest with his triple strength. Boom! With a loud bang, Chang Shuangyue's body flew up high and fell backward. As for Wang Lan, she was also frowning in pain. F***CK. Every time I use 3 forces of one punch with all my strength, the bones in my hand will break. What kind of freak was the ancient martial arts master who created this move? Are his bones Wolverine? Boom! Chang Shuangyue's body crashed to the ground. Wang Lan instantly rushed forward and stepped on Chang Shuangyue's chest. The purple flame saber in his hand was pressed against Chang Shuangyue's throat. Whoosh, we won. Little Wolf is mighty. Wolf King dominance. The audience stood up sparsely and began to clap and cheer. This battle was pleasing to their eyes, and it was also thrilling. They saw Chang Shuangyue's invincible posture, and Wang Lan's gorgeous Takashi Hoshi technique switching made their blood boil. Moreover, in these thrilling battles, every moment was a close brush with death. Unlike the previous episode, when he clearly could have finished off the opponent, there were so many pretentious movements before Takashi Hoshi. It was obvious that it was fake. Wang Lan's purple flame saber broke through Chang Shuangyue's invincible defense in one fell swoop, and it could be said that he had turned the tables. At this moment, Chang Shuangyue's arms were injured, and Wolf King's purple flame saber was pressed against Chang Shuangyue's throat. There is no longer any suspense as to who the champion of the Takashi Hoshi tournament would belong to. At the judges' table, a few judges nodded to each other, and one of them stood up. After our discussion, we have decided that the champion of the third season of the Takashi Hoshi tournament is... Boom! A loud noise instantly exploded in the center of the ring. Chang Shuang suddenly burst out with a terrifying wave of astral power, shattering the cement beneath him. At that moment, Wang Lan felt a sense of crisis in his heart. Wang Lan instantly retreated, almost brushing past Chang Shuangyue's sharp claws and dodging a fatal blow. I haven't lost. How can I lose? I haven't lost. Chang Shuangyue's expression became even more twisted, and the bright red skin on his body gradually turned pitch black, as if it had been dyed with ink. Damn you! I'm going to kill you, contestant Chang Shuangyue. The judges have decided the winner. Please obey our decision. Obey my ass. What do you know about fighting? What do you know about Takashi Hoshi? Takashi Hoshi is a killing technique. There is only one criterion to determine the winner. Whoever lives wins. Whoever dies loses. That is the winner and the loser, as well as life and death. Roar! Suddenly, Chang Shuangyue roared to the sky, and as he roared, pieces of pitch-black carapace appeared on his body. In the blink of an eye, Chang Shuangyue turned from a human into an insect-like monster. Come on with your purple flaming blade. Let's see if you can pierce my defense. Chang Shuangyue raised a spiked fist and sneered ferociously. Demonized Takashi Hoshi. Wang Lan shouted sternly. Evacuate the crowd, all of them. When Chang Shuangyue heard Wang Lan call him demonized Takashi Hoshi, he paused, and his expression changed instantly. Boom! Wings extended from his back, and he soared into the sky, breaking through the glass overhead. The two people who were watching the live broadcast in Wang Qianfeng's office jumped up the moment they saw Chang Shuangyue demonize. They rushed out of the window and ran towards Sioux City TV station. Wang Lan was stunned for half a second. Suddenly, his body flashed and rushed into the hole overhead. He then turned into a shadow and disappeared before everyone's eyes. All of this happened too quickly, so quickly that everyone fell into a daze. There was dead silence on the internet for about 10 seconds. Holy sh**T, what happened? Why did they all run away? What is Chang Shuangyue doing? Did he transform into an armored warrior? Why didn't you say it was a super evolution of a beet lemon? This might not be so simple. Chang Shuangyue fled in a hurry after transforming, and Wolf King chased after him without hesitation. Maybe this is going to be big news. Holy sh**T, explosive, explosive. Who is the final champion? Bullsh**T. Who else can it be? It must be Wolf King. Chang Shuangyue had wings after demonizing. This caused a lot of trouble for Wang Lan to track him down. Fortunately, Chang Shuangyue's body was too big. He didn't fly too fast. Wang Lan could still vaguely follow him from afar. Chang Shuangyue quickly flew away from the riot area and headed toward the dense industrial area. Between the city and the industrial area, there was a stretch of village in the city. Wang Lan didn't have much astral power left. If he continued using Dance of the Nebula, he could only sustain it for 10 minutes at most. Reinforcements from the Heavenly Sword Bureau would arrive at some point. Wang Lan's mobile phone was the only thing he could use to locate his brothers. Therefore, Wang Lan had to follow Chang Shuangyue closely. If he lost him, it would be troublesome to find him again. Do I have to use my phoenix form? I don't like it. Suddenly, a wave of energy appeared. It couldn't be seen clearly in the darkness of the night. However, Wang Lan instinctively felt a sense of danger. The wave of energy disappeared in a flash. In the sky, Chang Shuangyue was suddenly split in two and fell from the sky. Wang Lan suddenly stopped in his tracks. In the empty field, a high-speed train was speeding past in the distance. A breeze blew past Wang Lan's cheeks. In the distance, a humanoid demon was looking at him with bright red eyes. At his feet was Chang Shuangyue's body, which had been neatly cut in two. Demons. Wang Lan's heart jumped. Chang Shuangyue, who had successfully demonized, was at least in the middle or late nebulous stage. However, the other party could instantly cut Chang Shuangyue in two. Then, the demonized Takashi Hoshi in Sioux City must have something to do with you. Phoenix form, activate. The space between Wang Lan's eyebrows instantly lit up. The moment the red emblem appeared, he turned into a stream of light and attacked the demon. He punched out. The fist energy burned the hot air, creating a bright red pillar of fire. However, the other party easily dodged the attack and jumped into the sky. With a flash, the other party disappeared. Even Wang Lan, who was in her phoenix form, was unable to make him stay. Where do you think you're going? In the sky, a stream of light streaked across the sky where the demon had disappeared. However, in the end, nothing was left. Two figures appeared in front of Wang Lan at this time. Wang Lan withdrew his phoenix form. This time, he had only activated it for a short period of time. Moreover, Wang Lan's body was much stronger than before, so he didn't make a fool of himself. However, his limbs were still weak. He should be a real demon, right? Wang Qianfeng looked in the direction the demon had disappeared in and said indifferently, "It should be." Wang Lan in his phoenix form couldn't make him stay. "Wang Chu, where are you?" Wang Lan calmed down for a while, then walked in front of the two and saluted. "It's good that you immediately thought of chasing after him." Wang Qianfeng was expressionless even when he was praising someone. But to be praised by him as very good, that was already a great praise. Seeing the demonized Takashi Hoshi transform, your humble servant should have followed. However, the demonized Takashi Hoshi was killed by the demons. Your humble servant couldn't stop it in time. I feel guilty. Guilty my ass. How many days have you been in the Heavenly Sword Bureau? He Mingxue didn't have a straight face like Wang Qianfeng. He laughed and scolded. This time, it's all thanks to you. If it was his precious child, Su Shiyun, I'm afraid that kid would have to stay here. I saw that demonized person from afar. He was going to kill you. However, you decisively activated your phoenix form and took the initiative to attack. He saw that he couldn't deal with you in a short period of time, so he fled. If you want to blame someone, you should blame us. We didn't rush over at full speed, resulting in a delay of 1 second. Sigh. Wang Chu, where are you? Your humble servant speculates that the demonized Takashi Hoshi should be led by an organization. Even the reason for their demonization should be related to the demons. There are demon spies hiding in our Sioux City. You came into contact with the demonized Takashi Hoshi when you were in the trial area? Yes. However, I didn't think of it at the time, so I thought he was just an ordinary mutated Takashi Hoshi. Later, I discovered the demon's base, which led to the trial area incident. It seems that the demons are secretly making a big plan. Wang Qianfeng muttered to himself, then raised his head to look at Wang Lan. I'll give you the credit for discovering the demonized Takashi Hoshi, but you still have to go to school. It's not appropriate for you to participate. Wang Lan took a step forward, excitedly grabbing Wang Qianfeng's arm. Please let me participate, even if it's just to be an assistant. How could Wang Lan miss this opportunity when the demon race was stirring up trouble? Winning a Takashi Hoshi tournament only gave a few skill points and experience points. How could it compare to destroying the demon's scheme and winning victory for humanity? If he really missed it because he had to go to school, Wang Lan might cry with regret. You're still young. You should prioritize your studies. Wang Chu, I can actually apply for a leave of absence from school. Nonsense. In the Heavenly Sword Bureau, which one of you didn't graduate from a famous school? If you want to leave school, return the uniform to me. Also, I'll give you a mission now. You must get into one of the big 4 Cebu Gakuen. If you can't, I'll slap you to death. Complete the Takashi Hoshi tournament and obtain the first championship title in your life. Reward: 5,000 experience points and 500 skill points. A notification suddenly sounded in his mind. Chapter 90. Wang Chu. That's not what you said when you tricked me into joining the Heavenly Sword Bureau. Wang Lan felt that he had to try harder and put on an aggrieved expression. You said that I'm a student, but first and foremost, I'm a warrior. Didn't you say that I tricked you? Wang Qianfeng looked at Wang Lan with a surprised expression, as if he didn't expect Wang Lan to be so naive. Now that you're my Li, of course, I'll say something different. You're so shameless? Wang Lan looked at Wang Qianfeng with a petrified expression. Why are you still standing here? It's Monday tomorrow. Don't you have to go to school? The competition is over. Stop fooling around. Go back and sleep. Do what a student should do. After being chased back from the suburbs by Wang Qianfeng, the internet was in an uproar. The audience who had watched the Takashi Hoshi tournament from start to finish were all excited. The unexpected events that happened in the finals were much more interesting than the exciting competition itself. They had always thought that Xing Feng's withdrawal from the competition would be the climax, but later on, they realized that it was just the prelude. In the end, Chang Shuangyue transformed into a giant beetle and soared into the sky. It completely refreshed the views of the netizens. A Takashi Hoshi can transform like that? Then may I ask, what are the other Takashi Hoshi's forms after transforming? Is there a dragon's roar? Is there an angel form? The person above has been poisoned by the 2D world. What transformation? It's obvious that there's something wrong with Chang Shuangyue. If there's nothing wrong with his transformation, why would he run away? Why did the Wolf King chase after him? That Chang Shuangyue, could he be the legendary demons? The Wolf King seemed to have said something in the end, but it was too noisy to hear clearly. But I'm sure that the Wolf King must have said something that made Chang Shuangyue choose to run away. *M. Why is the Wolf King wearing a mask? I can't even lip read it. Let's wait for the official announcement and leave a message for the officials. The official announcement is bullshit. Didn't you see the official announcement that the champion of the Takashi Hoshi tournament was Little Wolf? They didn't mention a single word about Chang Shuangyue. He must have been given a gag order. We want to know the truth. The citizens of Jade State have a right to know the truth. Compared to the netizens who only shouted on the internet, the major media in Sioux City directly took action. They carried their cameras and rushed to the Sioux City TV station in the interview van. What? Sioux City TV station is the boss of Sioux City's media? What? Be careful of being banned? Ban my *guess. Those who were brave would be stuffed to death, while those who were timid would starve to death. Whoever could grab the first piece of news would be worth it, even if they were banned. Outside the Sioux City TV station, there were dozens of media companies surrounding it. The headlines of various platforms, the reporters of various news networks, and even the anchors of various live broadcast platforms. Everyone, please be quiet. We don't know what happened at the Takashi Hoshi tournament tonight. We're still investigating, so please calm down. Once we've finished our investigation, we'll make a public announcement to the city. Like hell, I'll believe you. Do you think we're virgins? We've been fooling people like this before, okay? That's right. Did you know about this beforehand? Did Chang Shuangyue use contraband? Such a big thing happened in front of so many people. You have to give us an explanation, right? While they were arguing, a black car stopped outside the TV station. Wang Qianfeng got out of the car and looked at the TV station that was completely surrounded. He frowned slightly and said, "Call their superiors. I don't want to see anyone asking about this matter for the next 10 minutes. Yes, sir. The Heavenly Sword Bureau was an extremely mysterious department in the eyes of the public. However, it had absolute power within its jurisdiction. It was directly under the Ministry of National Defense and was not under the control of the local government. Sometimes the local government even had to unconditionally cooperate with the Heavenly Sword Bureau. It was a very lively night. For many people, it was a sleepless night. Going to work tomorrow? Go to work. The fire of gossip was burning fiercely. How could they talk about going to work at this time? F***CK. My post was deleted. F***CK. The relevant departments have taken action. F***CK. I've been warned. If I post another post, my water meter will be checked. Wait, the people checking my water meter are here. I'll go open the door. Brothers who fought with me, remember to bring me food. Have a safe trip upstairs. Someone's knocking at the door so late. Send the two upstairs off. Wang Lan had a good night's sleep. He woke up refreshed, brushed his teeth, washed his face, and prepared to go to school. The Takashi Hoshi tournament had come to an end. This tournament, which lasted for almost half a month, allowed Wang Lan's character to level up once. He earned a total of more than 1,000 skill points. He spent 400 skill points to level up Flaming Blade, and the remaining 600 to level up Basic Combat, Basic Body Technique, Basic Swordsmanship, and Nebula Sword Dance. His strength had increased greatly, but he really didn't have enough skill points to spend. The current Wang Lan's desire for skill points was far less than his desire to level up his character. Thinking back, it had only taken him half a month to go from awakening Takashi Hoshi to breaking through Star Blazing. But now, 2 months had passed, and he still hadn't broken through from Star Blazing to Nebula. Am I slacking off too much? Wang Lan reflected in the mirror as he brushed his teeth. Do you think I can break through to Nebula before the end of this semester? Crack. There was a crisp sound, and the perfectly fine mirror suddenly cracked. Wang Lan looked at the mirror in shock. The weather must have suddenly turned cold, and the mirror couldn't withstand the expansion and contraction of the heat. On Monday, the bus was full again. Wang Lan walked to school with his shoulder bag. When he returned to class, the whole class was noisy. The students gathered in groups of 3 to 5 and discussed intensely. Lan, did you watch yesterday's Takashi Hoshi tournament? Su Xiangwen hugged Wang Lan's shoulder and asked excitedly. I watched a little. Do you think that Chang Shuangyue's transformation at the end was familiar? Wang Lan naturally understood what Su Xiangwen meant and nodded. It's the same as the person we met in the trial field during the summer vacation. It should be the same type of Takashi Hoshi. You heard that, right? I'm not talking nonsense. This Chang Shuangyue is definitely a mutated Takashi Hoshi. If a mutated type can transform into an orc, why can't he transform into an insect? Chang Shuangyue isn't the first one, and he's not the only one. Impossible. Takashi Hoshi beasts have appeared many times in history, but they were all wolves, leopards, and the like. I've never heard of an insect transformation. Chang Shuangyue's mutation must be problematic. Otherwise, why would he run? Why would the Wolf King chase after him? Wang Lan finally understood what his classmates were arguing about. Wang Lan, can you explain? Jiang Xinyu suddenly raised her head and asked. Her words made it sound like Wang Lan knew that it was really similar. I'm not sure about the specific situation, but I can analyze it. What's the principle behind the human mutation of Takashi Hoshi? In essence, there are animal genes in the genetic code. It's like a human and a mouse. There's a huge difference in appearance, but their genes are 90% similar. This is the prerequisite. When the ancestors of humans were still fish, insects had already appeared. If we calculate it this way, the genes of humans and insects are separated by the distance of a fish. In other words, since the explosion of life, humans and insects have been two different species. We are all people of the new era, and we have to believe in science. Even if we turn into a fish, it's easier than turning into an insect. If there's an insect's genetic code in humans, then I think that person is definitely not a pure human. Is that so? Su Xiangwen looked unconvinced. But didn't they say that the origin of life is a single point? Yes, the origin of life is a single point, and that point is organic matter. Therefore, all life will turn into organic matter after it dies. But humans and insects are separated from each other at the beginning. If we look up, all homodon mammals are a family, all amniotes are an ancestor, and all land reptiles evolved from a fish that stepped on land. Insects, on the other hand, are amputees. When humans jumped from insect to insect, that they basically crossed dozens of species boundaries. According to the principle of mutation, a human Takashi Hoshi's mutation will not exceed the range of homodon mammals. If it exceeds, then it's abnormal. If it exceeds dozens of species, then it's a fantasy. But that's not what you said in the trial field, right? Su Xiangwen was at a loss. Although he didn't want to agree with it, Wang Lan had the reputation of being a prodigy, and what he said was so reasonable that it was hard to refute. Yes, after I went back, I felt that it was suspicious, so I went to check the information. Anyway, theoretically, it's impossible for humans to have the mutation characteristics of arthropods. This Chang Shuangyue, there must be something wrong. As the bell rang, the discussion ended. At noon, the four people gathered on the rooftop. Wang Lan took the Heavenly Sword Bureau's phone to check the progress of the investigation on the demonized Takashi Hoshi. Wang Lan was a person who reported to the Heavenly Sword Bureau. As long as it was within his authority, he could still check the information. Chang Shuangyue, who used to explore the Northwest, left 2 years ago and returned to Sioux City. After that, he opened a dojo in Sioux City to teach students. His strength was not obvious, and the general impression of the students and their parents was that he had a gentle personality. Was this considered gentle? Could it be that these students and their parents had a different understanding of the word gentle? Was casually crushing people's legs and twisting them into a fried dough twist considered caressing? Chang Shuangyue had a younger sister called Changyu. She was an ordinary person who worked as a nurse at Ren AI Hospital. Last night, his sister was on the night shift. After the Heavenly Sword Bureau's investigation, it was determined that Changyu did not know about the changes in Chang Shuangyue's body. Moreover, Changyu revealed that since half a year ago, her brother's personality had begun to become strange and irritable. Moreover, their contact was not frequent. The Heavenly Sword Bureau concluded that Chang Shuangyue's demonization began half a year ago. Chang Shuangyue's interpersonal relationships were relatively simple. Besides a few friends, he only had contact with the students and their parents. In short, the trail that continued from Chang Shuangyue's side was broken. Broken? Wang Lan could not believe the conclusion of the Heavenly Sword Bureau's bulletin board. For better or for worse, they were the Heavenly Sword Bureau. Even if they did not predict the future, they should not have come to such a conclusion after one night. Okay? Shouldn't they have worked harder to continue the investigation? What's going on with Chang Shuangyue? There were too many people in the classroom, so I did not ask. Nothing, what's going on? Then why did you chase after him? It's better if you don't know. Wang Lan raised his head and looked at Jiang Sinyu's side profile. Okay, got it. Feiyu, what do you think Sinyu and Wang Lan were whispering to each other? If I were you, I wouldn't look and I wouldn't ask. I'm curious. Aren't you curious? Do you think, did they do it or not? Sai, why is your butt so cold? It's frozen. Gong Feiyu glanced at it and said casually. Chapter 91. Under the lockdown of the internet, the discussion about the Takashi Hoshi tournament gradually cooled down. The people of Sioux City were not interested in gossip for long. For the students of the Takashi Hoshi School District, the current topic of discussion was where to go during National Day. That's right, National Day, November 1st. 200 years ago, the last emperor of the Jade State announced his abdication after the last imperial edict of the world resisting the invasion of the demons. He personally handed the imperial seal, which symbolized the supreme power of the emperor, to the 6 cabinet ministers of the time. From that moment on, the Jade State completely changed from a centralized monarchy to a democratic republic. Representatives from all over the country were elected to supervise the government and select capable people to hold important positions in various departments. The people were the true masters of the country. Therefore, every year on November 1st, Jade State's National Day, the 7-day holiday, was comparable to the Chinese New Year. Students had a different kind of obsession with holidays. Rather than a holiday for the whole nation, it was better to say that it was a holiday for the students. For a large part of society, having no income during the holidays was more tiring than working. What was the point of having a holiday? Lanzi, before school ended, Su Xiangwen came to Wang Lan's side. How do you plan to spend the 7-day National Day? Me? Wang Lan was thinking about this. Wang Lan's zodiac sign was a dragon, but sometimes he felt that his zodiac sign was a mouse, and a hamster at that. He had a strong sense of crisis in his personality, and he had a phobia of not having enough food and having an empty warehouse. In his previous life, after he started working, he would only be able to sleep when he saw that his bank account had at least 5 digits in savings. Otherwise, he would be anxious and worry that he would need money one day. What would he do if he didn't have enough money? When it came to work plans, he liked to arrange everything clearly 3 months in advance. In this life, he didn't lack money. His study schedule was also packed to the brim. If it wasn't for the unlucky system, Wang Lan might have taken advantage of the holiday to go on a trip. But with the system, he didn't have enough skill points, level, or strength. His phobia was all over the place. It hadn't even been 10 days since the Takashi Hoshi tournament, and Wang Lan felt like he was wasting his life like a salted fish. Should I find something to do during this holiday? Let's see if the Heavenly Sword Bureau has any short-term missions. Although the harvest might be small, it was still meat. In terms of strength, Wang Lan was considered an expert in star blazing. If it really didn't work, wasn't there still the phoenix form? There was no problem in terms of strength. Why don't you say something? Su Xiangwen waited for a while, but he didn't see Wang Lan answer, so he urged anxiously. For the time being, I don't have any concrete plans. What happened? Xinyu said that there's a new Wanxiang Park in Shanghai, right? I heard that it's the biggest amusement park in the country. Shall we go and have some fun? During National Day? Another newly opened Wanxiang Paradise? Are you going to play or to make dumplings? Won't you be squeezed to death? Bullshit. In this world, the rich have green lights all the way and the poor have red lights everywhere. Can't we take the VIP route? Those who choose to go to Wanxiang Park at that time are all rich people. I'm just afraid that the VIP route will be blocked. Then let's take the VIP route. Jiang Xinyu's cold voice rang out. What's a man like you wasting time for? Are you going or not? Just say it. No. Wang Lan shook his head. This answer almost made Su Xiangwen sit down. Lan Zi, you're a real man. Xinyu personally came to invite you, and you're actually rejecting her? Why? Compared to going out and having fun, I prefer to study. Wang Lan's face showed a pure and gentle smile. Su Xiangwen was stunned. He couldn't help but give him a thumbs up. Bro, you're so steady. Forget it. I'll bring Xinshan along. Okay. All right. I have a suite in Shanghai. I'll send you the address and password later. You can stay there. Don't waste money on staying in a hotel. It's too expensive, Wang Lan said sincerely. You don't have to worry about that. Jiang Xinyu rolled her eyes and ignored Wang Lan. What's wrong with her? Wang Lan looked at Su Xiangwen, who was confused the whole time. No, nothing. Lan Zi, as long as you are happy. After school, the students left the school. Perhaps it was because it was the holidays, but the students were in high spirits along the way. All the topics of discussion were about where to go and what to do. Kids these days didn't know how to prioritize their studies at all. Play? That was a waste of youth. Wang Lan didn't care about that. We got home. Wang Lan ordered takeout. He sat on his bed and scrolled through his phone. He logged into the Heavenly Sword Bureau's intranet page and looked for missions that could be accepted. In fact, there was a mission in progress in Wang Lan's system. But that was after Wang Qianfeng ordered him to get into one of the 4 Cebu Gakuen. Obviously, this was a long-term mission. There were a lot of missions in the Heavenly Sword Bureau, but they were all completed. A mission form, scrolling from the top to the bottom, was either accepted or completed. Was the Heavenly Sword Bureau so efficient? Wang Lan clicked on the completed missions. Yes, Li Ge. The next one, Li Ge. And the next one, it was still Li Ge. After scrolling through 7 or 8 missions, it finally wasn't Li Ge. But the next one was still Li Ge. Doing missions so unscrupulously, won't he be beaten to death by his peers? Wang Lan thought of the figure he saw in the mall. A handsome face that was so handsome that he wanted to carve 2 slashes on it, and a pair of unruly eyes that said he was #1 in the world. This kind of idiot is destined to die alone. Wang Lan snorted in disdain. He didn't know where he got the courage to say that. There were no missions to accept in the Heavenly Sword Bureau's mission form. Wang Lan jumped to the Takashi Hoshi Club's official website. There were 2 million Takashi Hoshi in Jade State, and these Takashi Hoshi were divided into several groups. There were about 500,000 Takashi Hoshi in the army, 600,000 Takashi Hoshi in various schools in the country, and 700,000 Wasteland Reclamation Corps scattered all over the country. As students, the Takashi Hoshi were raised by the country's education system, while the army was responsible for training and improving the Takashi Hoshi. The Wasteland Reclamation Corps needed to improve their cultivation and eat, so they could only go to the vast and boundless alternate dimensions to hunt for soul orbs. But what about the rest of the Takashi Hoshi, who were neither soldiers nor Wasteland Reclamation Corps? The country didn't forbid them from living. The Takashi Hoshi Club would issue missions, and completing the missions issued by the Takashi Hoshi Club would earn points. Points could be exchanged for soul orbs from the Takashi Hoshi Club. Through this series of regulation, the country wanted the Takashi Hoshi Club to maximize their fighting strength and realize their value. If a Takashi Hoshi Club couldn't stand the rigors of the army, couldn't accept the hardships of wasteland reclamation, and was unwilling to complete the missions issued by the Takashi Hoshi Club, and only wanted to live on the benefits of the Takashi Hoshi Club, sorry, the country didn't support idlers. These idlers had basically given up on their identity as Takashi Hoshi Club and integrated into human society to become a commoner. When he entered the mission acceptance page, the first thing that popped up was the guide for accepting missions. Accepting missions wasn't something that could be done casually. First of all, you had to be a Takashi Hoshi Club. Second, you had to spend points to accept the corresponding mission. Moreover, only the level of Takashi Hoshi Club certificate could accept missions of the corresponding level. This was also the reason why the Takashi Hoshi Club certificate had to be reviewed every year. Strength was the same as the Takashi Hoshi Club certificate. Only the first mission didn't require points, and there was only one chance. So as a friendly reminder, the first mission shouldn't be too difficult. It was best to accept a mission that was guaranteed to be completed. Otherwise, if the mission failed, you wouldn't be able to accept another mission. After reading it once, Wang Lan had almost memorized all the main points of the 20,000 words in it. He clicked on the mission page and earnestly and sincerely looked for a mission that was guaranteed to be completed. Schwa, in an instant. Maybe it didn't even take a second. The 10 or so quests that had been refreshed were all in the accepted state. Wang Lan swore that he didn't even have time to read the name of the first mission. What's the meaning of this friendly reminder? Wang Lan cursed in his heart. Accept the mission carefully and ensure that it can be completed. Cautious my ass. Wang Lan refreshed again. In less than 3 seconds, all the missions were accepted. This time, Wang Lan was able to see the names of all the missions, but that was all she could see. Introduction? Even if you want to snatch red packets, you can't be so fast, right? Wang Lan seriously suspected that these people snatching missions were robots. Had some scalper company extended its claws to Takashi Hoshi Club? Wang Lan didn't believe it and refreshed again. Click. Damn, it's already been accepted? I've been single for 2 lifetimes and my hand speed is still not enough? This doesn't make sense. He refreshed again and his finger instantly turned into a stream of light. He didn't even look at the mission. If he could get it, then so be it. Accepted successfully. On the web page, a cartoon version of fireworks popped up in celebration. Damn it. Sure enough, the rules were dead and people were alive. If he wanted to accept the mission, he had to make the first move. Wang Lan seemed to have understood the philosophy of life and calmly opened the mission description. Investigate the mystery of the time tunnel in Red Maple Forest Park. Time tunnel? Interesting. Wang Lan touched his chin and carefully read the details. Time tunnels weren't rare in this world. The alternate dimension was a type of time tunnel. In the minds of many people, since the alternate dimension appeared on Sky Blue Planet, then the alternate dimension was on Sky Blue Planet. However, this statement was unscientific. In scientific terms, a spatial rift was a wormhole visible to the naked eye. Stepping through the rift and entering an alternate dimension, one could appear on a planet millions or even billions of light years away. Of course, this was only a possibility. The alternate dimension wasn't a random teleportation like a wormhole. At least, almost all the alternate dimensions had mutated beasts. It was hard to explain why all the mutated beasts had soul orbs. Every year, there would be people who mistakenly entered the time tunnel and accidentally stepped thousands of miles away. There were many people who ran from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. Even the ancient emperors who traveled across galaxies had to say, "Fellow cultivator, with your profound cultivation, you can actually travel so close yet so far. Do you dare to dismount and fight me?" But the time tunnel was different. That was a problem with the flow of time. Although it was still in the same place, the time was not equal. This situation was extremely rare. Even Wang Lan wasn't sure if it had happened before. Chapter 92. Since June of this year, rumors of a time tunnel had been circulating in Red Maple Forest Park. Some tourists had mysteriously disappeared when they entered the park to play. The tourists who came along with them asked the park management for help after finding nothing. After searching for an hour or two without any results, the missing people came back on their own. Moreover, the missing people said that they had only gone to the depths of the forest to relieve themselves, and the whole process took no more than 5 minutes. Moreover, the watch worn by the missing people was 1 or 2 hours behind the outside world. Previously, the management of Red Maple Forest Park had invited experts to study it, but after several months, they had found nothing. Instead, time tunnel incidents occurred from time to time. After reading the introduction, Wang Lan smiled bitterly. This kind of thing was not within the scope of the Takashi Hoshi's business, right? Looking for time tunnels was a matter for physicists. Takashi Hoshi could do manual labor, but to do scientific research, only Wang Lan, who was good at mathematics, physics, and chemistry, could barely give it a try. However, in Wang Lan's view, the probability of success of this mission was not more than 1%. Was it too late to regret now? There were only 2 results for Takashi Hoshi's missions. One was to automatically give up and judge the mission as a failure, and the other was to earn points if the mission was successful. F***CK. This was too inhumane. Wang Lan sank into his spiritual sea and called up the system. Sure enough, there was an additional mission in progress on the mission page. Student Xiao AI, check the time tunnel for me for information on Red Maple Forest Park. Okay, information search in progress. Information search completed. There are a total of 340 news and posts related to the time tunnel incident in Red Maple Forest Park. The next day, Wang Lan changed into combat equipment and left home. He switched to the 7th line and sat at the end of the line, which was Red Maple Forest Park. Originally, Red Maple Forest Park was a tourist resort, and the number of tourists was at its peak during the National Day holiday, especially in November, when the maple leaves began to turn red and were very beautiful. However, because of the time tunnel incident, the management chose to close the park for safety reasons. Before the matter was investigated clearly, the park could not open to receive guests. This was also the reason why the management was so anxious to issue this mission to the star martial artists. Every day of the mission was money. Perhaps in the eyes of the management, Takashi Hoshi were superhumans, espers, and gods. He could catch tigers in the mountains and dragons in the water. He could fly in the sky and burrow into the ground. You're right. Takashi Hoshi will admit defeat. Arriving at the tightly shut gate, the announcement about the closing of the garden was posted at the most eye-catching position. Many tourists came in groups of 3 to 5 and left in disappointment. Looking at the group of disappointed tourists leaving, the project manager had an apologetic smile on his face, but his heart was in pain. Didn't those departing figures look like the god of wealth that his family worshipped? Similar, they were too similar. Wang Lan came to the door and looked at the middle-aged man in a suit. Are you the person in charge of Red Maple Forest Park? I'm Wang Lan. We've made an appointment. Ah, you? The other party obviously didn't expect Wang Lan, who looked like a student, to be the Takashi Hoshi he had made an appointment with. Wasn't he too young? The other party looked at Wang Lan with slight distrust. Little brother, are you sure you're a professional? He had added a B-level professional limit to the mission level. Only experienced Takashi Hoshi could accept the mission, and the young man in front of him obviously didn't fit those two words. This is my Takashi Hoshi certificate. This is my proof of accepting the mission. Wang Lan directly handed over the certificate. After the other party checked it, he suddenly smiled. Little brother, you're really amazing. At such a young age, you're already a B-level professional Takashi Hoshi. Do you understand the situation of this mission? Understood. I asked you to prepare the precise location map of the time tunnel incident. Have you prepared it? Yes. Saying that, he quickly took out a magnified version of the Red Maple Forest Park tour map from his briefcase and marked the locations 1 to 10 on the map. This showed that in the past 4 months, there had been at least 10 time tunnel incidents. Picking up the map, Wang Lan entered the forest park. At the entrance, Wang Lan appeared to be confident, but when she went inside, her confident expression immediately collapsed. No confidence. He didn't even have any thoughts. Forget it. Let's try our luck first. Red Maple Forest Park used to be a few hills located in the southeast of Sioux City. In the 1950s, the country began to vigorously develop tourism, and Sioux City was naturally a member of this wave. Red Maple Forest Park, Timu Lake Wildlife Resort, Shishan Tourist Resort, and more than a dozen A-level scenic spots were developed at the same time. After decades of rest and reorganization, the current forest park was formed, not only to ensure the original atmosphere of the forest park, but also to let the tourists play comfortably, the management also painstakingly. The twisting and turning labyrinthine stone path, like a spider web, covered the maple forest with a radius of 3 kilometers. If there were many tourists, the park wouldn't feel that big, but at this moment, when there was only Wang Lan left, it was like entering a deep mountain forest. In the first place, everything was normal. In the second place, everything was normal. In the third place, damn, what am I doing? When he walked to the marked place, he didn't find anything, and he couldn't feel anything unusual. Wandering around in a big circle was simply a waste of time. If you ask Takashi Hoshi to find something substantial, maybe you can find it. If you ask Takashi Hoshi to find a time tunnel, do you think Takashi Hoshi is a space detector? Wandering around like this was simply a waste of time. Give me a hand, I know, but wait for me to stand firm first. Stand still and don't move. You're a big man. You've only walked for an hour and you're already so tired? Are you weak? You'll know tonight whether I'm weak or not. Look, I'm carrying dozens of kilograms of equipment alone. Lan, don't bully Qingjing. He's tired from carrying so many things. Moo is still the best. She knows how to be considerate. Okay, you're the good guys, I'm the bad guy. Why don't you guys be together? Stop fooling around. Vaguely, Wang Lan heard a conversation. Following the sound, he saw a man and 2 women carrying boxes crawling with difficulty to the third marked place. Wang Lan stood at the top of the slope and looked down at the 3 of them. The 3 of them seemed to have vaguely felt something and raised their heads to look at Wang Lan. For pairs of eyes stared at each other. We're here to investigate the time tunnel. We're master students from Sioux City University. Forest Park has been closed. How did you get in? Wang Lan asked in a low voice. Little brother, you're not a staff member of Forest Park, are you? A girl wearing a cap raised her head and looked at Wang Lan with a smile. Wang Lan took out the pass he had just received from the middle-aged man and put it around his neck. What about now? Little brother, we're just curious about the time tunnel, so we came to look for it. This is related to a topic of our research. Little brother, do us a favor and don't drive us away. Another sweet-looking girl pretended to be cute and said to Wang Lan coquettishly, I'll go. I can't stand it anymore. Lan, you're an old sister calling a little brother who's not even 20 years old. Do you still want integrity? A young student with glasses next to her hurriedly cried. What's wrong? Jealous? No. Wang Lan ignored these 2 criminals who were openly showing off their affection. Instead, it was the instrument on the man's back that made Wang Lan's eyes stay on it for a long time. What is this thing? Is it used to explore the time tunnel? Yes. This is a magnetic field exploration instrument that can detect magnetic fields. Because the flow of time, in addition to speed, strong gravitational or magnetic fields will cause changes in the flow of time. According to the relativity formula, we calculated that the force that causes the change in the flow of time is... Wait. Wang Lan quickly stopped the long speech of the girl in the cap. For this kind of science fanatic, it might take her an hour or two to finish talking. Wang Lan was not in the mood to listen to her talk about science and theory. At least, the existence of alternate dimensions could not be explained by science. This thing can help us find the time tunnel, right? In theory, yes. Come up, let's look for it together. I was also commissioned by the Forest Park Management to find out the truth about the time tunnel. The Forest Park Management commissioned you? Why didn't they commission us? The girl named Lan Lan asked curiously. Maybe they're too naive. With the help of Wang Lan, the three of them climbed up the slope. The three of them had the equipment, but they didn't know the location of the time tunnel. Wang Lan, on the other hand, happened to have the exact address of the time tunnel incident in his hands. This was simply a match made in heaven, a combination of heaven and earth, a meeting of golden wind and jade dew. The group of four began to search from the first point one by one. The girl in the cap was holding a computer in her hand. The computer showed a scanning aperture like a radar screen, refreshing in circles. It took more than 3 hours to go to 5 places in a row. However, not to mention detecting any magnetic field abnormalities, they didn't even find a metal can. What's going on? We've looked at 5 places and our legs are about to break. Why is there nothing? The girl named Lan Lan sighed dejectedly. If it were that easy, the professor and the others wouldn't have returned empty-handed last month. Could it be that the magnetic field changes in the time tunnel aren't continuous? Instead, it's caused by multiple factors? The bespectacled man asked in a deep voice. It's possible. If that's the case, it's either continuous surveillance for a long time, or it's just luck. If we're lucky, we might just encounter it. There are 5 more points. We'll go through them all. If we find nothing, then we'll have to change our strategy. Wait, the girl named Lan Lan suddenly said, Li Jing, come with me for a moment. What? Put down the equipment first. Come with me. This is not good, right? Li Jing glanced at Wang Lan and Moo Moo with his glasses. He felt that it was wrong to leave Moo Moo and an unfamiliar man behind. Are you a blockhead? I need to go to the toilet. Oh, only then did Li Jing put down the equipment. Then, the girl pulled him into a hidden place in the maple forest. Moo Moo, watch this guy for me. Don't let him go. In the distance, Lan Lan's voice came. Wang Lan looked innocently at Moo Moo, who was covering her mouth and laughing. Am I that unsafe? No, you're very good looking. However, women should learn to protect themselves. By the way, what's your name? Are you still in school? Why did they think of asking you to investigate? I'm still in high school. I'm a Takashi Hoshi. Oh, no wonder. The girl's eyes lit up when she heard Wang Lan's identity as a Takashi Hoshi. Is it convenient for you to leave your QQ number? Sure, there's nothing inconvenient about it. Wang Lan was just about to take out his phone when Lan Lan's scream suddenly rang out not far away. The moment the sound rang out, Wang Lan had already turned into a stream of light and disappeared. Chapter 93. Quick, pull me up. It's so dirty, so dirty. Wang Lan had just rushed out of the dense forest when he suddenly heard a scream in front of him. In an instant, Wang Lan stopped in his tracks. He didn't know what had happened, but that girl named Lan Lan had accidentally fallen into the pool of sewage. The pool was only as deep as her chest, and that girl named Li Jing was using a tree trunk to pull her out of the pool. Seeing that Li Jing was having a hard time, Wang Lan's figure flashed in front of her and gave her a hand. Why are you here? Li Jing suddenly turned around and asked with a frown. I heard this sister suddenly scream, so I rushed over. You heard the scream? Li Jing turned her head and looked at the dense forest in the distance. It should be at least 100 or 200 meters away, right? It had only been a few seconds. How could it be possible? Suddenly, Li Jing's gaze towards Wang Lan became even more unfriendly. Don't doubt it. That Sister Moo Moo can testify for me. Before I heard the scream, I was with her. I'm a Takashi Hoshi, So this distance is nothing to me. You're a Takashi Hoshi. Li Jing's face was full of surprise, and she immediately understood. He knew that Takashi Hoshi was a Takashi Hoshi, so it was completely reasonable for him to rush over so quickly. Moreover, there was a Takashi Hoshi by his side in the wilderness, so his safety was guaranteed. It's so smelly. My skin is going to rot. It's over. I'm going to have a rash. Lon Lon climbed out of the pool and immediately howled to the sky. Who knew how long this pool of stagnant water had not been changed, and that smell could be imagined by one's imagination. Moreover, it was just November, and although the temperature difference between day and night was large, it was still quite cool to wear clothes. Lon Lon fell into the pool, and on the spot, she tempted Wang Lan to wet himself. Wang Lan's cheeks reddened slightly, and he silently turned around. What is it? Is it seaweed or hair? Ah, Lon Lon had just let out a complaint, and in an instant, an even sharper scream sounded. Wang Lan turned around and saw that Lon Lon had fallen to the ground in fright. Her eyes were fixed on the shore of the pool. Wang Lan's expression suddenly changed. His figure flashed and arrived at the edge of the pool. There was a wet skull lying on the edge of the pool. It was the kind that had thoroughly rotted. It should be a woman, because the thing that was wrapped around Lon Lan's ankle was long hair. Call the police! Damn it! Why is there no signal? Get out! Get out! Someone died in the forest park. Lon Lon quickly pulled Li Jing and screamed. Only a skull was left, and it was unknown how long it had been dead. Perhaps there were other skeletons in the pool. Wang Lan stood up. Just as he turned around, his figure flashed and rushed to Lon Lan's side. His fingers pinched a locust on Lon Lan's snow-white thigh with lightning speed. Lon Lon was startled by Wang Lan's sudden action. She bounced away with a whoosh. What are you doing? There's a locust in your pool. It's so big. Wang Lan threw the locust on the ground. The locust was wriggling like a fat earthworm. No matter how you looked at it, it was fat and weighed 5 to 6 grams. Lon Lon was a girl, but when she saw such a scary locust, she was so scared that her skin fell apart. Ah! She grabbed her hair and screamed like a pig being slaughtered. What should I do? Li Jing, what should I do? My whole body was in the water just now. Is there more on my body? Is there more? Wang Lan calmly looked at the locust on the ground and gently lifted his foot. With a squeak, the locust was crushed by Wang Lan's foot. Bright red blood splashed out. Even if you ask me, I don't know. Why don't we hurry home or go to the hospital? By the time you get to the hospital, the locust will have already drilled into your flesh. I suggest you take off your clothes now and let your boyfriend give you a full body check. Don't worry, I'll turn my back and not peek. With that, Wang Lan turned around. Lon Lon quickly took off her dress and stood in front of Li Jing with her snow-white body. Hurry up and find it for me. Oh, Li Jing suddenly came back to his senses. There's none in front, but behind. Ah, there are 3 behind. Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and help me pull them out, but more than half of them have drilled in. I can't catch them. Little brother, help! Lon Lon suddenly shouted domineeringly and kicked the boyfriend in front of her to the ground. Wang Lan instantly turned around and locked onto the 3 locusts that were trying to drill into Lon Lan's snow-white back. His 2 fingers were like stars as he instantly pulled out the 3 locusts and threw them to the ground. Then he decisively turned around. Put on your clothes slowly and check if there are any locusts in your clothes. Lon Lon, who was about to put on her clothes, paused and hurriedly shook her clothes. As expected, 3 locusts were shaken out of her clothes. After checking a few times to make sure that there were no locusts, she quickly put on her dress. Little brother, it's done. Damn it. Li Jing was kicked away by his girlfriend and instantly felt humiliated. But to blame Wang Lan, he could not do such a thing as biting the hand that fed him. So he could only vent his anger by stepping on the locust on the ground. After stepping on it for a long time, the locust was still alive and kicking. Don't compete with the locust. Hurry up and go back. Wang Lan stopped this person who was clearly in his 20s from acting so childishly. When he walked past the locust, he accidentally stepped on the 3 locusts that he plucked from Lon Lan's back. The bright red blood made Lon Lan's face turn as pale as a sheet again. She hurriedly left in the direction she came from. But when she came to where Moo Moo was gone. From the time Wang Lan left to the time they came back, the delay was only 20 minutes. But at this time, Moo Moo's disappearance was extremely abnormal. First, they heard Lan Lan scream. Although Wang Lan rushed over in an instant, Moo Moo should have come as soon as possible. It was only a distance of more than 100 meters. Logically speaking, Moo Moo should have met them by the pool. But obviously, Moo Moo did not come, and the equipment they carried with them was intact in the same place. Moo Moo, where are you? Lan Lan called out nervously. This damn girl, where did she go? She disappeared at this time. Did she encounter a time tunnel? Lan Lan was so angry that she stomped her feet. It's possible. Li Jing came to the computer and looked at the fluctuations on the computer that were jumping rapidly like Mario. There's a strong magnetic field here that covers a range of 500 meters. Because of this, our mobile phone signal is jammed. Li Jing looked at the computer screen and instantly entered the scientist mode. Wang Lan was dumbfounded by the speed at which his aura changed. Just now, she was panicking and saying that she wanted to leave quickly. In the blink of an eye, she was as steady as an old dog. Listening to Li Jing's explanation, Wang Lan took out the mobile phone that was provided by the Heavenly Sword Bureau. After glancing at it, his expression changed drastically. Quick, let's get out of here. Wang Lan's mobile phone was equipped with a military signal transmitting and receiving device. Even if there was interference, the interference would not be so thorough. Moreover, Wang Lan was someone who had finished high school physics. If it was really because of the strong magnetic field that caused the signal to be blocked, then their mobile phone and computer would be destroyed. But the fact was that the mobile phone was running steadily, and so was the computer. Go. No, I can't leave Moo Moo here alone. Moo, Lan Lan called out anxiously. She even left Wang Lan and walked to the dense forest on the opposite side. Moo, a friend in need was a friend indeed. It was not a fake sisterly relationship. Hey, Lan Lan, I'm here. At this time, Moo Moo's answer came from the forest. After a while, Moo Moo, who was wearing a cap, walked out of the forest. Lan Lan, what's wrong with you? You look like you've been bullied. The girl named Moo Moo teased with a smile. Moo Moo, where did you go? I was so worried, and you're still laughing at me? Where have you been for so long? So long? It's only been a while. Just now, the device detected a magnetic field fluctuation, so I hurried over. But I didn't find anything after a small circle, so I came back. It took at most 3 minutes. What 3 minutes? It's been half an hour. What? Aren't you exaggerating? Moo Moo looked at her watch in disbelief. Look, 3 minutes. Look, 30 minutes. Hey, you too. Is this the time to talk about 3 minutes and 30 minutes? Since you're already back, let's go. Let's go. Wait. So, we found time tunnel. Moo Moo suddenly came back to her senses and shouted excitedly. Maybe. The notebook has been open all the time, right? Let's go back and restore the recorded map. We'll rely on it for this year's graduation report. That's great. Let's go quickly. It's not safe here. Wang Lan looked around vigilantly and hurriedly urged. Okay, let's go. Li Jing reacted quickly. She closed the notebook, carried the device, and stood up. Moo Moo, let me tell you, someone was killed in this forest park. In the pool just now, there was a skeleton. Suddenly, Wang Lan reached out at lightning speed and touched Moo Moo's neck. What are you doing? Moo Moo turned around in shock and stared at Wang Lan with a cold face. At the tip of Wang Lan's finger, a sickly locust was wriggling slightly. There's a locust on your neck, although I don't know how it got on your body. Throw it away, it's disgusting. The locust in Wang Lan's hand seemed to evoke some unpleasant memories of Lan Lan. She was so scared that she trembled and screamed. Wang Lan casually threw the locust on the ground. Squeak! The locust exploded and green blood splashed out. In an instant, Wang Lan's footsteps stopped and a flash of light appeared in his eyes. And this scene was coincidentally seen by Li Jing. Moo Moo, why is her blood so dead green? This might be the legendary pig-like teammate. The moment Wang Lan complained in his heart, Ghost Weep came out from behind him. His body turned into a stream of light and stabbed at Moo Moo. Moo Moo immediately somersaulted backwards, flew twice in the air, and landed steadily 2 meters away. This sudden turn of events stunned Lon Lon and Li Jing on the spot. Everything happened too quickly. Both of them felt like they were in a dream. Moo Moo, when did you learn martial arts? Moo Moo is already dead. Wang Lan's astral power surged, and Ghost Weep pointed at Moo Moo in front of him. He's a demon now. Only demons have green blood. I was wondering why that locust was so sickly. It turns out that your blood is poisonous. And the so-called time tunnel doesn't exist at all. The process of their disappearance is the process of demons killing them and replacing them. The time on your watch. You deliberately set it to show that only 3 minutes have passed. Demons, are you going to invade again? Humph! There was a cold snort, and Moo Moo's face suddenly began to distort. His eyeballs bulged out of their sockets, and the skin on his face turned dark brown. His hands suddenly lengthened, and his legs strangely twisted. In less than 3 seconds, a 2-meter-tall, well-equipped warrior of demons appeared in front of the 3 of them. I was careless and exposed myself, but it doesn't matter. As long as I kill you, it won't affect our plan. The demon's thick voice came out of his mouth like a pair of pliers. Chapter 94. At this moment, the girl called Lon Lon finally reacted. Moo Moo, what is this? This is the demons. Wang Lon pulled out Ghost Weep from his back and looked at the other party with a serious expression. Previously, when they went to the Skyscreen Lake, they had only encountered the lowest level of demon soldiers. However, the one in front of them could actually speak. This meant that it was a member of the demons. Wang Lon had never fought with a member of the demons before. However, a few days ago, a demon had killed the demonized Chang Shuangyue in one move. It seemed that the demon's strength was extraordinary. At this moment, a strange phenomenon appeared in the dense forest. Dozens of demon soldiers like the ones they had seen for the first time appeared from the forest and surrounded the 3 of them. When they saw the demon soldiers, Lon Lon and the girl called Li Jing were so scared that their faces turned pale. They could do nothing but tremble. Little brother, what should we do? Will we die? If it weren't for these 2 burdens, Wang Lon might have retreated without hesitation and then informed Wang Chu to send the experts of the Heavenly Sword Bureau to wipe them out. However, with these 2 burdens, Wang Lon could only fight. Almost without hesitation, Wang Lon instantly activated his phoenix form. The moment the phoenix tail flower on his forehead lit up, Wang Lan's figure turned into a stream of light and appeared in front of the demons. The demons were thinking about how to cook this Takashi Hoshi, who had almost ruined their plans. It was said that the meat of Takashi Hoshi was the most delicious when fried. However, in an instant, the weak human beginner warrior in front of them disappeared. Then, a stream of light turned into a white line and flashed in front of their eyes. In an instant, the demons' eyes widened, and an expression of disbelief and horror appeared on their faces. You are Galaxy Grade? Impossible. You're just a beginner warrior. How could you be at the Galaxy tier? Wang Lon was also puzzled. He turned around to look at the demons. When the demons' heads fell from his shoulders, the kill notification rang in his mind. Only then did Wang Lon believe that he had really insta-killed the powerful demons. Leapfrog kill. Reward: 1,000 EXP, 50 SP, only 50 skill points. Wang Lon was a little disgusted. I thought demons should be very strong. Why are they so weak? What a waste of my phoenix form. The phoenix form was already in full effect. His figure flashed, and the biohazard soldiers around him were all beheaded in an instant. After completing this, Wang Lon immediately exited the phoenix form mode. The phoenix form cost 10 skill points per second. Just now, he had used up 50 skill points just like that. Fortunately, these biohazard soldiers all had soul orbs, which provided Wang Lon with a few dozen skill points. All in all, he didn't suffer any losses. Li Jing and Lan Lan had thoroughly experienced the impermanence of this change. What happened in the past hour today? Let these two youngsters sort things out. Let's go to the toilet first. She fell into the pool. She climbed out of the pool with a skull wrapped around her feet. Wow, so exciting. She had just recovered from the fear of the skull when a few leeches were happily drilling into her skin. Then, she took out the leeches and found that her good sister was gone. She had found her good sister and was overjoyed to reunite. However, before she could celebrate, her good sister had turned into demons. Then, she was surrounded by a group of monsters and was about to die. Then, this little brother in front of her exploded and killed all the monsters in an instant. Perfect, the climax along the way caused her blood pressure to soar. Lanlin's nerves were already numb. Just like what Stephen Chow said in the movie, when a person was stimulated too much in a short period of time, it would exceed their tolerance limit. Then, there would be no reaction. Therefore, when the demons were drooling over them, the little girl withstood it. When Wang Lan eliminated all the demons, the little girl's eyes rolled back, and she fainted on her boyfriend's body. Lan Lan, what happened to you? Stop shouting, let's go. Under Wang Lan's pull, Li Jing took off the equipment, carried his girlfriend, and ran. Speaking of which, this guy called Li Jing should have good stamina among ordinary people. Previously, he carried a few dozen kilograms of equipment for such a long time. Now, he could carry his girlfriend and run as if he was flying. No wonder a science guy could find a girlfriend. Stamina was probably a big factor. After running for half an hour, Wang Lan finally found the entrance to Red Maple Forest Park based on his memory. The moment he rushed out of the entrance, he was surprised to see that the fat middle-aged man from before was still there. Master Little Wang, you came out? Did you find a reason? Why are you still here? I'm fine now. I'll wait for you here. I've figured out. Do me a favor and send these two people to the hospital for a full-body checkup. Wang Lan pointed at Li Jing and the unconscious Lan Lan. He then took out his phone, and sure enough, the signal was restored. He dialed the number. 20 minutes later, the roar of helicopters sounded in the sky. 3 helicopters passed through the clouds and soon arrived above Wang Lan's head. The helicopters had no intention of landing. One by one, figures jumped out of the helicopters. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 30 people landed in the open space in front of Wang Lan. The person leading them was Li Ge, whom Wang Lan met before. Li Ge was in a neat military uniform without a single wrinkle. He strode in front of Wang Lan and saluted Wang Lan. This formal way of meeting made Wang Lan a little confused and subconsciously saluted him back. Wang Lan. Wang Qianfeng's figure slowly floated down like a feather and landed in front of Wang Lan. Wang Chu, tell me the situation in detail. Yes. Last night, I accepted a mission from the Takashi Hoshi Union to investigate the mystery of the time tunnel in Red Maple Forest Park. I came here this morning to investigate, and during the investigation, I met 3 students from Sioux City University. They were also here to investigate the mystery of the time tunnel. Then during the investigation, a girl named Moo Moo among the 3 went missing. She was found half an hour later. She claimed to have entered the time tunnel and wanted to vaguely pass by. But coincidentally, I saw a leech sucking blood from her neck. I took the leech off, and when I stepped on it, I found that the blood it sucked was green. From this, I concluded that this Moo Moo was not human, but demons. From this, it was inferred that the so-called time tunnel was actually a scam. Demons captured us humans and killed them. Then they used demons to replace that person's identity and successfully infiltrated our human society. The so-called time tunnel was nothing but a lie they weaved. Sure enough, after I saw through her identity, that Moo Moo turned into demons. Moreover, dozens of demon soldiers like the ones that appeared in the alternate dimension under the mountain road appeared in the dense forest. Now that demons and the demon soldiers that appear were killed by me, but there must be other demons in the dense forest. Wang Lan's short words clearly explained the process. Li Ge, did you hear clearly? I heard clearly. I guarantee that they will all be annihilated. Go. I'll go too. Wang Lan hurriedly said. You don't need to go. Discovering the demon's tracks and their plan is already a great merit to you. The combat mission is their operations division's task. We just need to provide the information from the intelligence division. Wang Qianfeng patted Wang Lan's shoulder and comforted him. Wang Qianfeng also went through that phase. When he first joined the Heavenly Sword Bureau, he was also high-spirited and full of mettle, wholeheartedly thinking about making contributions and doing things. But everyone wanted to make contributions, everyone wanted to do things, everyone wanted to be promoted. This matter could not be done by one person. The credit could not be taken by one person. Wang Lan already took the fattest part of the credit, leaving some gravy for his brothers. Wang Qianfeng thought that Wang Lan would not understand this, so he planned to teach him properly in the future. But Wang Lan was thinking about those skill points of the moment. Captain Li, there's a pond in the middle of the forest. There is a woman's head beside the pond. This may be the remains of a victim. Please take it back, Captain Li. Got it, Li Ge said faintly. With a wave of his hand, the 30 people behind him moved instantly, turning into a blur and rushing into the red maple forest park. After a while, the sounds of battle could be heard. Wang Lan, come here. Wang Qianfeng leaned against the door and leisurely lit a cigarette. You did well this time. You are worthy of being personally selected by me. Wang Chu, you flatter me. That Li Ge. I saw him last time. He seems to have some conflicts with Brother Su. He doesn't seem to like me either. Wang Lan secretly said something to Li Ge. Last time, he was scolded by you for 3 minutes for no reason. Wang Lan still remembered this grudge. It's not a conflict, it's a competitive relationship. Su Shiyun became a captain a year earlier than him, and both of them were active for the promotion. Competition, of course, would not be peaceful. But even if it's a competition, our intelligence division and operations division can't hurt each other. This is also the reason why I brought Li Ge this time, and not Su Shiyun. You are the same. You have ability, talent, and especially good luck. How many times have you met in just 2 or 3 months? If it was someone else, they might not even meet in a few years. But you can't monopolize the benefits. If you eat meat, others have to drink soup, then others will remember you're good. When you are in trouble, they will help you. If you want to monopolize everything, then you will be a nail in the eyes of others. Just like that Li Ge. You can't learn from him. You have to be tactful and know how to divide the benefits. When you divide the benefits, you are also dividing the trouble and danger, even if those benefits are what you deserve. Yes, this humble one has learned. Do it well. Your luck is so good. Are you afraid that you will have less credit in the future? This time, I will help you fight for first place. No one can take it away. Wang Chu, is this considered good luck? Bad luck is more like it. That depends on the person. Wang Qianfeng looked into the distance. If it was other Takashi Hoshi, it would be very unlucky. If it was an ordinary person, it would be 8 lifetimes of bad luck. But you are different. You are a member of our Heavenly Sword Bureau. You are a soldier of our intelligence division, Wang Qianfeng. What does our Heavenly Sword Bureau do? Isn't it just dealing with this group of demon bastards? Not only is it not a bad thing that you encounter demons causing trouble, the more the better. The more there are, the more credit we will have. Speaking of which, I still can't believe it. How can you be so lucky? You randomly took a mission that had nothing to do with you, and you were able to uncover the demon's conspiracy? Wang Lan was speechless and could only laugh dryly. Chapter 95. Rumble. Suddenly, lightning flashed and thunder roared in the depths of Red Maple Forest Park. Waves of spiritual energy swept through the area. Wang Lan and Wang Qianfeng's conversation stopped, and the two of them turned to look in the direction of the surging spiritual energy. Looks like there's something inside. Should we help? Li Ge is quite strong. He can handle it, Wang Qianfeng said calmly. Wang Chu, what if there's an elite demon in there? If the demons can become the biggest threat to the human race and suppress us all this time, their elites must not be weaker than us. And if they're spies, they must be elites among the demons. We can't be careless. It's true that you're an elite demon, but you might not know some common sense. Wang Qianfeng suddenly realized that the young man in front of him was actually a newbie who had only awakened his Takashi Hoshi 2 or 3 months ago. The demon race and the human race are in different space-time. The high technology of a human race cannot be used in the alternate space, let alone in the demon realm. Then, are the laws of this world only limited to us humans? Wang Chu means there are restrictions on the demons too. If the demons want to preserve their strength and come to Sky Blue, they can only do so through dimensional erosion. They have a magic array that, once activated, can gradually erode the two dimensions and merge them. But this kind of dimensional erosion will emit strong energy waves. No matter where the dimensional erosion is, we can detect it. Once the erosion is complete, the demons will not be affected by the laws of time and space, and our technology will not be affected by the alternate dimensions. This is also why East Island was turned into a demon realm by the demons, but the nuclear bomb hidden in East Island could be detonated at the critical moment. Before the dimensional erosion is complete, the stronger the entity, the less able it is to pass through the boundaries of time and space to enter the human world. In this aspect, the human race has a greater advantage over us. As long as a human Takashi Hoshi awakens the talent of Takashi Hoshi, we can enter the alternate space at will. So, even if there are demons who have infiltrated our human civilization, they aren't very strong. If no one had told Wang Lan about this, Wang Lan would not have been able to figure it out, even if he racked his brains. This would explain why the demons that he killed were so weak. In Wang Lan's opinion, since they were spies who infiltrated the enemy's rear, they should be the elites of the elites. We can't be blindly optimistic either, because the spatial restrictions only apply when the demons enter the human world. After successfully reaching the human realm, this restriction would disappear. Therefore, the demons also thought of a flexible way. The demons would send some of the noble children to the human world when they were young and weak, and then lay low until the time was right to activate them. The demon spies had not infiltrated recently. In the 70 years since the end of the war, they had never stopped infiltrating. But when it comes to growth, the demons' growth is much later than ours. After listening to Wang Qianfeng's explanation, Wang Lan finally understood. The real situation was much more complicated than Wang Lan had imagined. The demons and humans were not just a war between different countries, but a war between races that transcended time and space. Wang Lan still had a lot to learn. At this time, the aftermath of the battle in the distance suddenly erupted violently, and then a strange distortion appeared in the distant space. Looks like Li Ge has finished his job. As he spoke, Wang Qianfeng took out his phone and dialed. After a while, a few figures appeared in the dense forest in the distance. One after another, the soldiers of the Heavenly Sword Bureau's operations department walked out of the dense forest. 7 or 8 of them carried the bodies of martyrs who had died in battle. Li Ge came in front of Wang Lan and handed the head in his hand to Wang Lan. Is this the skull? Yes, that's good. Have you confirmed it? Wang Qianfeng came in front of Li Ge and asked faintly. Reporting to Wang Chu, we have confirmed that Brother Wang Lan's speculation is correct. Good. Wang Qianfeng took out his phone again. Su Shiyun, you can close the net. Wang Lan speculated that the net that Wang Qianfeng asked Su Shiyun to close should be the people who had the time tunnel in Red Maple Forest Park. These people had been replaced by the demons, according to Wang Lan's speculation. Completed the mystery of the time tunnel in Red Maple Forest Park. Reward: 3,000 experience points, 300 skill points. In his mind, the voice of Wang Lan's system sounded. The helicopter once again passed through the clouds and stopped above everyone's head. Are you coming back to the station with me, or going home by yourself? Is there nothing for me to do? If you go back to the station, attend the case summary meeting. You need to type out a detailed report of the cause of the incident. If you don't go, then there's no need. After all, you're still a student and haven't officially joined the workforce. Then forget it. I'll take the subway back. Wang Lan intuitively realized that Wang Qianfeng didn't want him to follow him back to the Heavenly Sword Bureau, so he tactfully suggested that he leave by himself. The mission was completed and the rewards were collected. All that was left was to think about how to spend the 7 days of vacation. When he got home, Wang Lan first added 300 experience points to Nebula's sword dance. Just like that, Nebula's sword dance reached the high level of Silver 8. Bored, he laid on his bed and scrolled through his phone. He realized that Su Xiangwen, this show-off, had posted more than 10 updates today. The three of them and Jiang Xinchen had gone to Shanghai to play. They had fully utilized the law of money, making the world go round. Along the way, they had recklessly posted on the VIP channel that Vientiane Amusement Park was filled with a sea of people, blocking the entrance to the amusement park. Could you please not change to a new ride every 10 minutes to irritate me? Okay? Can you please be more humane? Seeing how Su Xiangwen and the others were having so much fun, Wang Lan suddenly felt a little envious. Should I get up and continue doing missions? As soon as he thought of it, he opened Takashi Hoshi Club's official website and submitted the mission completion. He received 100 points. After that, he found a short-term mission and clicked to accept it. Actually, Takashi Hoshi's missions were very easy and didn't have any combat missions. For example, to provide protection for someone or to escort valuable items, treasures, money, important industrial machinery, and so on. Sinew, do you still want to post? I feel that if I continue to send them out, I might be locked onto by those red-eyed people and then beaten to death, right? In the artificial sunroom, Jiang Sinew and the others were leisurely enjoying the sun. Outside the sunroom, there was a sign. Equipment maintenance, temporarily suspended. But did you think that the amusement park was blind? Equipment maintenance? Then what were the 4 people lying inside? Therefore, Su Xiangwen's worries were completely unnecessary. There was no need for any positioning. He found them at a glance. Don't you usually like to be in the limelight like this? Do you think that there are no rich people in Shanghai? Doing this might make some rich people feel uncomfortable. By the way, do you think Wang Lan, that steel bar, will be provoked by me? What does it have to do with Wang Lan? Jiang Sinew turned her face slightly and asked coldly. Hey, you already made it so obvious, okay? You personally invited him out to play, and he dares to say that he likes to study? Isn't this not giving face to our Queen Jiang? You reminded me to post a status every now and then just to tell him that you made a mistake by not coming. What a strong desire to survive. Gong Feiyu poked his head out of the magazine. He didn't expect Su Xiangwen to be able to explain the complicated relationship between Jiang Sinew and Wang Lan in such a flawless way. Amazing. There is nothing wrong with not giving face to a rejection on a date. No, Brother Lan just posted a status. Jiang Xinchen sat up and said, "Oh, he can post a status too? Has the primitive man been resurrected?" "No, he seems to be dating Li Shaoqin." "What?" Su Xiangwen suddenly let out a cry of surprise. He opened his WeChat moments and saw a new status from Wang Lan. In the photo, Wang Lan was covered with all kinds of shopping bags, like a poor boy who was shopping with his girlfriend. Next to him was the superstar Li Shaoqin, who was dragging him to a shopping mall. There was a picture under the photo. He would never go shopping with a woman again in his life. Su Xiangwen had posted so many pretentious statuses, but he couldn't withstand Wang Lan's bitter complaint. Looking at this photo, Su Xiangwen suddenly felt that the superior privileges he enjoyed were tasteless. That was the national idol of Nanli State. Even in Jade State, she was a superstar. Wang Lan, I really couldn't tell. You're usually so honest, but you're actually such a person. Ka! With a green sound, the lounge chair under Jiang Sinew turned into a frozen throne. That's not right. When did Wang Lan and Li Shaoqin get together? They shouldn't have interacted at all. Su Xiangwen sat up and quickly asked, "Nonsense. Don't you know what kind of person Wang Lan is? Li Shaoqin is the #1 actress in Nanli State, a national treasure idol. This time, she came to Sioux City to shoot a large-scale TV series with Jade State, the Great Zhou Dynasty. Don't mention when she got together with Wang Lan. Even if they wanted to know each other, they didn't have a chance. Could it be that Wang Lan has been a Nanli? So, this photo is photoshopped? See for yourself." Gong Feiyu took out his mobile phone and handed it to Su Xiangwen. Sioux City Takashi Hoshi Club's mission list. There's a 4-day mission as Li Shaoqin's personal bodyguard. Li Xiaoqin likes to go shopping, but she hates to be followed by dozens of bodyguards. So she decided to hire the Jade State's Takashi Hoshi to protect Li Xiaoqin's safety for 10 hours a day. And the person who accepted the mission was Wang Lan. This kid knows how to play better than us. While you idiot are still bungee jumping, Wang Lan has already started the Takashi Hoshi mission. In the dead of night, in the Heavenly Sword Bureau branch, Director Liu Zhao walked quickly through the quiet corridor to the conference room at the end of the corridor and pushed the door open. Clatter. Wang Qianfeng and the other lieutenant colonels all stood up neatly. Sit down. Liu Zhao's appearance didn't seem to be imposing, but no one in the room dared to look down on Liu Zhao. He was a veteran of the Joint Security Organization, and if the printed file of the United Nations was printed, it would be half a meter high. His rich experience and ample experience made everyone who saw him gasp in amazement. To be able to become the head of the Heavenly Sword Bureau in such an important city like Sioux City, he naturally wasn't a nobody. The laboratory just sent a definite report. The DNA matching results of the head Li Ge brought back from the Arcana land are out. Her name was Changyu. She was from Gunnan, Sioux City. She was 24 years old and a nurse at Rena Hospital. But she is not on the list of people who have experienced the mystery of the time tunnel. Chapter 96. Hearing Liu Zhao's words, the heads of the various departments present raised their eyebrows slightly. Are there any fish that escaped the net? Li Weixin, the director of operations, asked faintly. It should be. And from the looks of this Changyu, she may not be the only fish that escaped the net. Moreover, we found that when we began to capture the targets who had experienced the time tunnel, almost all the targets on the list had the intention to move. But the one called Changyu went to work and got off work as usual, without any unusual behavior. Therefore, the intelligence team speculated that Changyu and those who had experienced the time tunnel were two completely different groups, and her infiltration method was different. Director, Captain Wang Chu, Captain Li Chu, a middle-aged, bespectacled lieutenant colonel, opened the information in front of him and said, "This Changyu had undergone a series of identity identification checks under our supervision. In addition to a series of routine checks, we also conducted a DNA identification. The final conclusion was that this Changyu was indeed a real human, and the time of this check was only half a month ago. In other words, Changyu was replaced by the demons within half a month?" Li Weixin asked doubtfully. "No, we tested the skull brought back by the captain, and it has been more than half a year since the time of death. If this skull belongs to Changyu, then the Changyu that we identified as a human after layers of screening was demons at that time. This..." As soon as Wu Chan from the medical department finished speaking, everyone's face showed horror. Everyone was a veteran in this field, so of course, they could understand the terrible meaning behind these words. Demons can already deceive our precision instruments, and can even simulate our human DNA to the point of passing off as genuine. If the demon spies could do it. For humans, this was simply a nightmare. Everyone's expression changed, and Li Weixin's face became pale. "Damn it, capture that Changyu and find out how they did it." "We captured the demon spies who sneaked in through Red Maple Forest Park, and they all chose to commit suicide after knowing that there was no hope of escaping. It can be seen that this group of demons has undergone very strict training and completed the infiltration mission with the determination to die." Wang Qianfeng's words once again rejected Li Weixin's proposal. "Then what should we do? The demons can deceive our DNA test. If we don't find out the reason as soon as possible and find a way to restrain them, how can we do our work in the future? Walking on the street, anyone could be a demon's. If he's smiling at you, we might not even know if he's a demon spy. Division chiefly, this Changyu had a background that could be dug up. She happened to be related to an intelligence lead that the intelligence department was pursuing." Do you still remember the demonized Takashi Hoshi? The demonized Takashi Hoshi wasn't the first to appear in the Northwest. During the summer vacation this year, it had already appeared in the elementary trial field. So far, there have been 3 cases of demonized Takashi Hoshi. The last one was at the Takashi Hoshi tournament. He Ming Shiwei and I immediately rushed over. But in the end, we only saw the demonized Takashi Hoshi being killed by an expert demon. That expert demon was very strong and shouldn't be any weaker than any of us. After she killed the demonized Hoshi, she escaped. He Ming Shiwei and I couldn't track her because her movements were strange. It was also because the demonized Takashi Hoshi was Chang Yu's older brother, Chang Xuanyue, that we asked Chang Yu to cooperate with the test. At that time, Chang Yu didn't show any abnormalities. Now, it seems that the demon we almost left behind that day was this Chang Yu, and the demonized Takashi Hoshi must be related to the demon. This Chang Yu should be our key breakthrough point. I suggest that we monitor her 24/7. We need to know who she contacts and who she contacts. We might even be able to crack a high-level demon spy team. After Wang Qianfeng finished speaking, Lu Zhao casually nodded. Does anyone have any opinions on Chief Wang Chu's suggestion? Agree, agree, agree. Since everyone agrees, then it's settled. As for monitoring Chang Yu, Lu Zhao's eyes moved back and forth between Wang Qianfeng and Li Weixin. There was no clear classification of surveillance targets. They could belong to the intelligence department or the operations department. In the Heavenly Sword Bureau, Wang Qianfeng was without a doubt the most capable and most outstanding department head. After coming to Sioux City and becoming the head of the Heavenly Sword Bureau's intelligence department, he hadn't made a single mistake in the past 9 years. It wasn't that the other department heads weren't good, but Wang Qianfeng was especially outstanding. Lu Zhao liked Wang Qianfeng, but he had to be fair. Sometimes, for the sake of balance, Lu Zhao had to give up the opportunities and benefits that should have belonged to Wang Qianfeng to others. Lu Zhao liked his subordinates to get along well, but he didn't like his subordinates to form an iron bucket. Chief, let's leave this matter to the operations department. The operations department has plenty of people, and they're experienced. They're completely competent for this task. Oldly, aren't you going overboard? You're making it sound like our intelligence department doesn't have enough manpower and experience. We're not competent for this task. Old Wang, is that what I mean? Don't blindly argue, okay? Monitoring suspects is also the operations department's job. Unearthing the target's background and secretly investigating the target's organization and network seems to be the intelligence department's job, right? Fine, I won't argue with you on this matter. Li Weixin saw Wang Qianfeng's unyielding attitude and hurriedly stopped. Monitoring Chang Yu can be left to the intelligence department, but Chief, I have another matter. This time, Li Gu successfully led his team to wipe out the secret base established by the demons and killed an early-stage Galaxy Realm demon general. Isn't it time for him to be promoted? Li Gu. Lu Zhao smiled faintly. I remember this young man was only 18 years old when he first came, right? An 18-year-old late-stage Nebula Realm. It's hard to find such a genius in the entire country outside of the 4 great academies. It's him. Is the contribution enough? I've done 200 C-grade pieces, 70 B-grade pieces, and the only A-grade pieces missing have been filled this time. Li Weixin smiled proudly. Where's your shame? Old Li, where's your shame? Wang Qianfeng sneered. Old Wang, you're deliberately arguing this time. Li Weixin's face turned cold. Discovering the demon's secret base and killing an early-stage Galaxy Realm demon. This contribution is indeed great. This is an A-grade mission. Sioux City may not even have an A-grade mission in a year. However, is it appropriate for you to give such an A-grade mission to Li Gu? Who discovered the demon's conspiracy? Who discovered the clues leading to the appearance of the demon Takashi Hoshi? Was it Li Gu? I admit that Li Gu is very outstanding. We've all seen his performance over the past 3 years. I have no objection to him personally or his promotion, but the credit for this A-grade mission must go to Wang Lan. Chief Wang Chu, the main difficulty of this mission is to destroy the demon's secret base. Doesn't your face hurt when you say this? Li Weixin's face really hurt, especially when he said this. The other division heads looked at his old face with ridicule. But what could he do? It wasn't easy for him to get such a unique talent like Li Gu. Of course, he had to push it up. However, Why was it that Wang Lan was the one who discovered the demon's conspiracy and confirmed the location of the demon's secret base? Ahem, ahem. Lu Zhao coughed lightly, interrupting the quarrel between the two. The credit for this matter goes to Wang Lan from the intelligence department. Let's not argue about this matter. If Wang Lan hadn't discovered the demon's conspiracy and discovered the demon's secret base, let alone Li Gu, all of us would have been kept in the dark. Let's do it this way. The task of monitoring Chang Yu and finding other demons who infiltrated the team will be handed over to the operations department. The credit for this A-rank mission goes to the intelligence department. As for the promotion, it will have to wait until Li Gu completes this mission. Lu Zhao's decision was made. Li Weixin still wanted to fight for Li Gu, but when he saw the look in Lu Zhao's eyes, he swallowed his words. Today's meeting ends here. The contents of this meeting are top secret. Walala. Everyone stood up in unison. Yes, sir. Lu Zhao turned and left the meeting room. The others also began to pack up and prepare to leave. Old Wang, why didn't you stop us at this time? When Li Gu is pushed up, I'll fully cooperate with you to push Su Shiyun up. Can't you do that? You know me. I'm not suited to work in the Heavenly Sword Bureau. In a year or two, I might return to the army. Li Gu is the successor I'm grooming. You know that. Li Weixin grumbled in a low voice as he packed up. For Li Gu to be able to meet you, it could be considered his 8 lifetimes of good fortune. But didn't I make way for him? Wang Lan directly reported the discovery of the demon's base to me. I wanted Su Shiyun to deal with it, so Li Gu had nothing to do with it. I've already given him so much credit. Why are you still asking for a yard after giving him an inch? If it's someone else's credit, it's fine. But if it's Wang Lan's credit, I can't give it away. Also, even though you're grooming Li Gu, does Li Gu really have the ability to be your successor? He has potential, but potential is just potential. He still needs to be taught more. Okay, maybe I'm too impatient. On the other side, Wang Lan had also completed the mission to protect Li Shaoqin. He was rewarded with 1,000 experience points and 50 skill points. It was not worth it for Wang Lan to get such a small harvest in 4 days. But when he thought about it, 50 skill points could only be earned by catching a Takashi Hoshi who was similar to him, and then pulling him to a corner and beating him up 50 times. He didn't do anything for 4 days. He only ran errands for people and earned 50 skill points. It was still a good deal. Wang Lan, in the future, come to Nanli Country to play with me. Accompany me shopping for 4 days. When you come to Nanli Country to find me, I will definitely put off my work and accompany you for 4 days. Before they parted, Li Shaoqin said to Wang Lan with some reluctance, "Thank you." Wang Lan's face was smiling, but his heart was roaring. In the future, wherever you go, I will definitely avoid you. It's really hard for a weak woman like you. Shopping actually made him, a Takashi Hoshi with a long body, almost collapse. You're welcome. There's an old saying in Jade State, friends come from afar. After getting the completion of the task, Wang Lan turned around and left without any reluctance. His posture looked like he was running away, but in Li Shaoqin's eyes, he was just turning around and leaving. Why isn't there such a graceful and elegant young man in Nanli Country? Li Shaoqin turned around and asked her agent. Maybe Nanli Country is too small. Maybe only a big country like Jade State can have this kind of demeanor. After getting along with Wang Lan for 4 days, not to mention Li Shaoqin, even her agent was deeply impressed by Wang Lan. From the first day they met, Wang Lan gave them the feeling that he was not a bodyguard they hired, but a friend who came to receive them. He was neither servile nor overbearing, calm and elegant, and had an elegant demeanor. In just 1 day, the two of them had forgotten each other's identity, and the way they got along with each other was like an old friend. Wang Lan was charming, knowledgeable, and was a Takashi Hoshi. This made Li Shaoqin subconsciously suspect that Wang Lan's real identity might be a son of a noble family in Jade State. To a certain extent, she was right. Chapter 97. Wang Lan submitted the task on the street and earned 100 points. For many Takashi Hoshi, this amount of points was not a small income. But for Wang Lan, it was just a harvest to kill time. There were still 2 days before the end of the holiday. Forget it. He would not look for things to do in these 2 days. I really envy you students. You have more than 100 days of holiday a year. A voice sounded. Wang Lan had just finished submitting the task, but when he looked up, he saw Su Shiyun in casual clothes in front of him. Brother Su, are you looking for me? Do you have a task? Suddenly, Wang Lan's eyes lit up. Why are you the same as Li Ge? When you hear about a task, your eyes turn green. I'm on leave today, so I'm walking on the street. I happen to see you. What a coincidence. Wang Lan was speechless. Dace's city has a population of at least 10 million. In such a vast sea of people, you can walk casually and bump into me. What the hell? Don't talk nonsense. I'm depressed. Can I drink with you? I'm only 16 years old. I can't drink. Can you drink milk? Su Shiyun reached out and put his arm around Wang Lan's shoulder. Wang Lan was wrapped by Su Shiyun and walked into the restaurant across the street. In the private room, Su Shiyun quickly ordered 20 to 30 dishes, 2 bottles of white wine, and 5 cans of Red Bull for Wang Lan. Big brother Su, are you making me excited for the entire night? Do you really think it has any effect? It's all a lie. Wang Lan could see that Su Shiyun really had something on his mind. After a moment of silence, Wang Lan played with the toothpick and looked at Su Shiyun with a smile. Brother Su, are you in a bad mood? Did you quarrel with sister-in-law? Is that possible? Your sister-in-law and I never quarrel. Su Shiyun raised his head proudly. If you can fight, don't talk nonsense. Cough, cough, cough. Wang Lan almost spat out water on the spot. Where are you hurt? Let me take a look for you. No, it's about work. The dishes were served one by one. Su Shiyun poured himself a glass of wine. Good heavens, 45% white wine, and 1 mouthful was enough. How much grievance did he suffer? Wang Lan, do you think our Wang Chu is stupid? Su Shiyun finished his drink, and his cheeks were slightly red. How did our brothers make him unhappy? Siding with outsiders? Is it because of the incident at Red Maple Forest Park? Wang Lan instantly understood. For example, Wang Qianfeng's explanation to Wang Lan was that from Wang Qianfeng's standpoint, he had to consider the interests of the entire intelligence agency. He had to make concessions for the relationship between the intelligence agency and the other departments. But in front of Su Shiyun, it was indeed giving away the credit that should have belonged to the intelligence agency. Yes, you were the one who found the demons. You called Wang Chu. This A-rank mission is meat in the bowl of our intelligence agency. Why should it be given to the operations department? Maybe Wang Chu has his own considerations. I know he has other considerations. He said that he can't take all the credit for himself. We are an intelligence agency, and providing information is our duty. Capturing people and fighting are the operations department's missions. But if that's the case, why do we still need the intelligence agency's operations team? Brother Su, didn't Director Wang give you the task of closing the net and capturing the culprits? Those people all committed suicide as soon as we closed the net. Not a single one was caught alive. They were even reprimanded by Wang Chu. Who doesn't know how to open their mouths? If he has the ability, he can do it. Wang Lan lowered his head and didn't answer. Forget it. There's no point in complaining now. What's done can't be undone. By the way, the next time you have such good news, don't just call Wang Chu. Wang Chu is too generous. He doesn't need to be promoted. He doesn't know that it's not easy for his brothers to be promoted. If you find out something new, remember to give your brothers a call. This isn't good, right? Acting on my own without reporting to Wang Chu? It's not called acting on your own. This time, you have already determined the whereabouts of the demons, so you should ask Wang Chu for instructions. But it's not always so easy to directly determine the whereabouts of the demons. As long as you have this guess and doubt, you can ask our brothers in the intelligence department for help. As long as our brothers get involved in such a good thing, Wang Chu won't be able to take credit for our brothers. Wang Lan looked coldly at Su Shiyun, whose eyes were red. This kind of thing can't be asked for. It's not so easy to come across it. If it were someone else, it might be a coincidence, but you're different. You're the koi of our intelligence department. You don't even stop stepping on dog shit. A piece of chicken fillet fell from Wang Lan's chopsticks. Did we agree? This is not my idea alone. It's the collective idea of the brothers in the intelligence department. I know. By the way, is there any new progress on the case? Of course there's progress. Su Shiryun leaned over and said in a low voice, "Do you know who the skull found in the forest park belongs to?" "Who?" "Chang Yu. It's her." "What a coincidence." Wang Lan's eyes flashed. "I understand. Chang Shuangyue was demonized on the day of the competition because of Chang Yu. Chang Yu has a direct connection with the demonized Takashi Hoshi. Not good." Suddenly, Wang Lan exclaimed in a low voice, "What's wrong? We can't touch Chang Yu. If we touch Chang Yu now, it's tantamount to breaking all the lines behind us. We don't know how many demonized Takashi Hoshi there are in Sioux City. She's the only clue now. We should cast a long line to catch a big fish." Su Shiryun looked at Wang Lan in a daze. His face showed astonishment. "What's wrong, Brother Su? Is there a problem with what I said? To be able to think of this in such a short time, I have a whole new level of respect for you. It seems that my understanding of you is wrong. Wang Chu said that you're a koi, so we really thought of you as a koi. There's no such thing as good luck in the world. You relied on your real strength. You're sharp enough to notice this so quickly. Even Wang Chu's reaction wasn't as fast as yours. But Wang Chu already thought of it. Speaking of which, I feel bitter. What's wrong now? We didn't even get the task of monitoring Chang Yu. It was Li Gu from the operations department who got it. Is he Wang Chu's son? No. This time it was Director Liu who appointed him. Then he's Director Liu's son. After eating with Su Shiryun, Wang Lan went straight home. The next day, Jiang Xinyu and the others came back from Shanghai and invited Wang Lan out for dinner. Wang Lan didn't have anything to do, so he naturally didn't refuse. During dinner, Jiang Xinchen asked about his relationship with Li Shaoqin. Wang Lan didn't hide anything and generously explained that it was because he accepted a protection mission. Wang Lan's 5 days were very fulfilling. The four of them also had a lot of fun. Time always passed very quickly when one was reluctant to part with it. Wang Lan just felt a little relaxed when the holiday ended. Before National Day, the study tasks were mainly to improve. After National Day, the study tasks were for the final exam. The final exam was for both liberal arts and martial arts. They also had to be ranked in the school. At the Takashi Hoshi campus in Sioux City, who was a new top 10 player. Every year, there would be a lot of competition at the end of the year. Liberal arts was to do questions continuously. Starting from the first day of the holiday, there was a test paper almost every day. There were a total of 4 papers. In the afternoon combat class, Liu Jie first arranged for 2 students who were on par with each other to fight. Then, there was 2 hours of high-intensity physical training. 10 days passed quietly. Under such a fulfilling pace of study, Wang Lan's fear of not being strong enough was effectively alleviated. Every day, when he came home from school, he would be physically and mentally exhausted. He would cultivate for a while in the training room and then fall asleep. Thanks to this high-intensity training, Wang Lan could receive 7 to 8 skill points every afternoon. Wang Lan's actual combat strength was much higher than Liu Jie's. In the class, only Jiang Xinyu and Maigitsuk Castle could fight with Wang Lan. Most of the time, Wang Lan and Maigitsuk Castle were in the same group. His wish of beating Songbo 8 to 10 times a day didn't come true. However, he could beat Maigitsuk Castle 7 to 8 times a day. And Maigitsuk Castle was indeed a child of the Takashi Hoshi family. He had received a good education. Every time he was beaten to the ground by Wang Lan, not only did he not get angry, but he also grabbed Wang Lan's arm with unusual sincerity. "Thank you for your advice." Once, Wang Lan caught a flaw in Maigitsuk Castle and wanted to give him a move. But he didn't want Maigitsuk Castle to lose too badly, so he gave up. Who knew that Maigitsuk Castle was very unhappy and repeatedly asked Wang Lan not to be merciful. In the face of such a request, Wang Lan said, "You said it yourself." From that day onwards, he could only receive 7 to 8 skill points a day, but now he could receive at least 12 points a day. At the same time, Wang Lan also found that Maigitsuk Castle's belt was getting looser and he looked haggard. After a week, both sides of his cheeks were deeply sunken. In order to not let Myget Sook Castle be defeated by Wang Lan, Lu Jie finally changed the groups. Jiang Xinyu, Myget Sook Castle, and Wang Lan were in the same group, which meant that Wang Lan would take turns to practice with the two of them. In fact, Lu Jie had also found that Wang Lan's strength was much higher than his, so he had the idea of letting Wang Lan replace him in sprinting training for the two Seed Masters. In this regard, Wang Lan didn't refuse. At one point, he even went to Lu Jie's office and suggested that he should fight the whole class alone. You can even make such a request, or I just quit. Lu Jie was so angry that he almost kicked Wang Lan out. Every time Wang Lan and Myget Sook Castle fought, there would be a young girl, CSCC, standing outside the field and staring at Wang Lan. Wang Lan only thought that CSCC was watching them fight to learn experience. Unknowingly, half a month had passed. There were less than 2 months before the winter vacation. Wang Lan slowly packed his bag. As long as it wasn't a battle, Wang Lan's movements were very slow. Wang Lan, do you have any plans for this winter vacation? Jiang Xinyu suddenly asked indifferently. Going out to play again? I've already made a training plan. After all, there's still such a long way to go. If I don't work hard, I'm afraid I won't be able to catch up with you before the college entrance exam next year. Is that so? There's a new announcement in the trial field today. The 3 trial fields will open on the 1st of December. I originally planned to go to the intermediate trial field during the winter vacation, but since you have other plans, then forget it. Other plans? What other plans? Wang Lan instantly looked at Jiang Xinyu with a blank expression. The corner of Jiang Xinyu's mouth twitched slightly as she tried hard to hold back her laughter. That CSCC, who was sitting beside Wang Lan, heard the conversation between the two and hurriedly moved over to look at Jiang Xinyu. Can you bring me along? During this time, CSCC and Jiang Xinyu's relationship was very close, but they were far from being close friends. CSCC's cultivation was at the peak of the star rank. Although she might break through to star blazing soon, her strength was barely enough to go to the beginner trial field, let alone the intermediate trial field. Jiang Xinyu didn't want to be too discouraging, so she could only say regretfully, the intermediate trial field costs 100,000 a day. We'll be there for 10 days. Chapter 98. CSCC's eyes dimmed, like a candle flame that was being extinguished by the wind. For CSCC, who came from a normal working family, being able to awaken her Takashi Hoshi innate talent was already the pride of her parents. Because she was a Takashi Hoshi, her parents could enjoy a lot of benefits, such as free medical treatment, low-interest loans, and so on. However, even so, her parents' salary didn't even add up to 20,000 yuan a month, and the high cost of 100,000 yuan a day wasn't something a family like CSCC could imagine. Although she knew that she couldn't complain, she still felt very disappointed. Squad leader Xie really doesn't have a good memory. Songbo's piercing voice rang out again. For some reason, Songbo's group of 4 seemed to have started to become arrogant again since yesterday. Since yesterday, Wang Lan had been wondering if he should find a reason to earn some extra money. Seeing how you've been shamelessly following Jiang Xinyu around these past few days, did you really think that she would treat you like a human? Do you understand now? In the end, you'll still end up with nothing. Squad leader Xie, you should rejoice. If they were really willing to bring you in, you might have become the excrement of the exotic beasts in the training grounds. At that time, you won't even have a tombstone. How pitiful. What's going on? Have these 4 dogs not been beaten for 2 days? Why are they so arrogant? Su Xiangwen said indifferently, standing up and rubbing his wrists. Maybe Duan Ziki successfully broke through to Nebula yesterday, causing these dogs to think that they have someone backing them up. Myget Sook Castle said leisurely as she picked up her backpack and slung it on her back. I was wondering what was going on. So Duan Ziki broke through. How come she only just broke through? Xinyu has already broken through for 2 months, and Duan Ziki is regressing? Su Xiangwen, you sure are arrogant. If you have the ability, find Ziqi for a fight after school. Songbo saw that he was about to become the public enemy of the entire class, so he bared his teeth and roared. Student Songbo, to tell you the truth might be too cruel, but seeing how ignorant you are, I really can't help but tell you. Do you know why Duanziki has been so low-key even after breaking through Nebula? Maigetsu Castle approached Songbo step by step. What do you mean? Nebula? Duanziki? Ha! In our class, there are at least 5 people who can beat him to a pulp. Heh, who doesn't know how to brag? Songbo's voice suddenly stopped. He stared at Maigetsu Castle's Star Palace in disbelief. A cluster of clouds was slowly rotating in the Star Palace like a windmill. Do you believe that even if you were beaten to a pulp by us, Duanziki wouldn't dare to come here and fart? Wouldn't it be better to keep a low profile and be a quiet dog? Maigetsu Castle patted Songbo's shoulder and laughed. Songbo's expression kept changing. In the end, he obediently picked up his bag and fled the class with the other 3. Duanziki has broken through? Jiang Xinyu asked again to confirm. Yes, not only did Duanziki break through, but Mu Xiaoyan also broke through. However, Duanziki isn't a concern, but Mu Xiaoyan needs to be vigilant. His strength might not be below yours. It's good to be a little stronger, Jiang Xinyu said with a calm face. Otherwise, there won't be any sense of accomplishment when you win. The students walked out of the class one by one. Wang Lan said goodbye to Su Xiangwen and the others at the school gate and walked to the bus stop. At the bus stop, CSCC lowered her head and thought about something. Class president. That, Wang Lan, is something the matter? CSCC was surprised to see Wang Lan behind her. Actually, Xinyu doesn't mean to look down on you. I know. Jiang Xinyu is very good to me and has never been overbearing to the other students. Songbo and the others were purposely sowing discord. Most of the students in the class knew that. I'm not angry. Back when Wang Yul entered the basic training field with us, we were chased by demons. We watched as Wang Yul's head was chopped off by the demons, but we were powerless to save him. If it wasn't for the garrison arriving in time, we might have been completely wiped out. The training field is very dangerous. Exotic beasts come and go like ghosts. No one knows what will happen in the next second. Thinking about it now, I'm really scared. You're usually so flustered during battles. What would you do if I asked you to fight exotic beasts in the training field? Actually, I'm not a coward. I'm just nervous, really. CSCC's bright eyes stare at Wang Lan's face as she said seriously, I will overcome it. My private efforts won't lose to anyone in the class. Wang Lan, if I have 1,000,000 yuan, you're willing to take me there, right? CSCC's eyes were filled with desire. Wang Lan never thought that such a gaze would appear in the eyes of a young girl in her prime. Wang Lan had seen such a gaze countless times. In his previous life, in Hungyan Studios, those young boys and girls chasing their dreams would have humble and trembling eyes when they were promoting themselves to a certain director. Wang Lan couldn't understand what kind of pressure CSCC was under that she shouldn't be under at her age. That was why she was so obsessed with going to the training field to hunt exotic beasts. However, although dreams were precious, they would only be left for those who were strong and prepared. This isn't a matter of money. The bus is here, Wang Lan. See you tomorrow. CSCC didn't wait for Wang Lan to finish speaking and turned to rush towards the bus. It was as if she was running away. Wang Lan, who was standing at the bus stop, had a dumbfounded look on his face. His mind was echoing. I'm not listening, bastard chanting scriptures. Wang Lan shook his head with a bitter smile and turned to walk along the sidewalk towards the Sinew building. The sound of a car horn rang in his ears. A black MPV stopped beside Wang Lan. The car window rolled down, and Su Shiyun appeared in front of Wang Lan. Wang Lan, get in. Brother Su, what's the matter? Wang Lan nimbly went to the front passenger seat. Behind. Oh, Wang Lan obediently opened the door and got in the car. There was an unopened set of clothes on the seat. What are you spacing out for? Change your clothes. It's for me? Is there a mission? Wang Lan had a puzzled look on his face. Looking at Su Shiryun's serious expression, it seemed like it wasn't a small matter. Mission my ass. Under Wang Chu's orders, I'm here to pick you up for the celebration banquet. You're really a big shot. You actually want a captain like me to personally pick you up. Tonight, you have to drink a few more cups with me. If you don't make me happy, don't even think about leaving. Celebration banquet? Is it the time we destroyed Red Maple Forest Park? Isn't that bullshit? These years, demons have been active in the country more and more frequently. Every time they cause trouble, we only realize it later. Even if we react quickly, we can only clean up the mess. 26 provinces in the country, more than 300 Heavenly Sword Bureau branches have been badly battered by the demons. The headquarters in the capital had a dark expression on their face every day. Just this time, how about Sioux City strike first and gain the initiative before the demons have time to act? Their conspiracy will be thwarted, and their base will be completely annihilated. The higher-ups were happy and specially announced the national commendation. They also urged the 342 Heavenly Sword Bureau branches in the country to follow Sioux City's example, unraveling the silk from the cocoon, striking first to gain the initiative, and defeating the demon spies. You brat, you've made us proud. Our brothers in the Bureau are all proud because of you. After being praised by Su Shiryun, Wang Lan's face showed a modest smile. It's just a small contribution. It's what I should do. Huh, that's not right. I took the wrong uniform. Why is it white? You didn't take the wrong uniform. You've been promoted. Are you sure? I remember that white uniform is for first lieutenants, right? I'm just a temporary worker. Even if I'm promoted, I should be a permanent worker or a second lieutenant, right? Temporary worker? You still think you're a temporary worker? Su Shiryun stared at Wang Lan's face in disbelief for a long time. Isn't that right? Wang Chu originally said that I was an off-staff member. Do you still remember the test I gave you? If you fail the test, you'll be an off-staff member. If you pass the test, you'll be an official member. Otherwise, do you think off-staff members have special phones? Does he have a Heavenly Sword Bureau ID? Also, because the Southeast Military District gave you a commendation, plus your performance in the Red Maple Forest Park. Therefore, Jean City HQ gave you a special promotion to First Lieutenant. Although you still don't have a position in the Heavenly Sword Bureau, you're still a core leader. Have you changed your uniform? Tonight, the director will personally give you a commendation order. I've changed now that you mention it. I'm a little excited. Li Go and I didn't get a promotion, but you did. But I'm mentally balanced. No matter what, this credit still belongs to our intelligence department. You want to fight for the top credit? Dream on. Sit tight, I'm going to drive. What about Su Shiryun's driving skills? Very fast, very fast. If it weren't for the fact that Su Shiryun was in no hurry, Wang Lan would have thought that a female driver was behind the wheel. It took him less than 15 minutes to complete the 12-kilometer journey. This was the peak hour after work and school. 15 minutes on the city's busy roads almost made Wang Lan vomit. The celebration banquet was held in the Heavenly Sword Bureau's cafeteria. It was decorated like a wedding. For the first time, Wang Lan realized that there were so many people in the Heavenly Sword Bureau. There were 100 tables, nearly 1,000 people. Everyone who attended the banquet was wearing military uniforms. Most of them were in traditional green uniforms, with a few white uniforms that were as eye-catching as flowers among the green leaves. There were even fewer elites in red. Looking at the entire banquet, there were only about 10 of them. As for the leaders in black, not a single one was seen. Of course, for the warriors of the Heavenly Sword Bureau who attended the banquet, the real highlight wasn't the elites in white or red. It was the group of female comrades who they had coveted for a long time, but never had the chance to get close to. Because it was a joyous occasion for the Heavenly Sword Bureau, all the female Takashi Hoshi had put on beautiful makeup. Surrounded by a pack of wolves, they were surrounded by orioles and swallows. The number of female Takashi Hoshi was about half of the male population. Normally, the ratio of male to female Takashi Hoshi was 1-to-1, but in terms of combat talent, the female was slightly inferior to the male. Coupled with the Heavenly Sword Bureau's policy of only accepting elites, the ratio of males to females in the Heavenly Sword Bureau was somewhat unbalanced. Usually, the female warriors wore masks when carrying out missions. Even when they weren't wearing masks, they were barefaced. Who knew that female warriors could be so beautiful after dressing up? The male warriors almost transformed on the spot. Eh. Sister Zheng, look, such a young man in white. Why haven't I seen him before? In the distance, a female warrior in green whispered to a female warrior in red. Him? Today's main character. Zheng Xiaomao smiled sweetly. In her mind, she recalled the first time she saw Wang Lan in the alternate dimension created by the demons on Sioux City's Ring Road. Chapter 99. At that time, Wang Lan was just a newly awakened Takashi Hoshi. He hadn't even applied for a Takashi Hoshi certificate, but he had single-handedly killed 9 low-level demon soldiers. This was something that she thought was impossible, but Wang Lan had done it. From that moment on, Zheng Xiaomao remembered this remarkable young man in her heart. She originally thought that the legend of Wang Lan would only shine in the next 10 years. But she didn't expect that in just a few days, this name would once again enter Zheng Xiaomao's ears. He discovered the demons' plot to destroy the training grounds and helped the Jinwu group in the southeast military district to destroy the demons' plot. This youth was different from what she had imagined. Other geniuses would at least have a period of development, but he didn't seem to need it. He was like a star that shot into the sky. Once he appeared, he would immediately shine brightly. This time, the entire Sioux City's Heavenly Sword Bureau benefited from him. He's Wang Lan? Although he's not as good-looking as Li Ge, but he looks very warm. A female Takashi Hoshi beside her propped up her chin and looked like she was deep in thought. Xiao Xiao, he's only 16 years old. You can't possibly have the heart to eat such a tender grass, right? Sister Zheng, what do you mean? You're calling me an old cow? He's only 18 years old. Have some shame. He was 18 years old 2 years ago. My Xiao Xiao is 18 years old every year. If she doesn't look at her Takashi Hoshi certificate, she might even forget her real age. But he's not bad-looking. If he dresses up, he won't lose out to Li Ge. I say, why do you guys have to compare Wang Lan to Li Ge? What's good-looking about Li Ge's dead face? Other than acting cool, what else is there? Listen, Li Ge said something to Qingqing last year, and Qingqing still remembers it. I'm a woman, so what if I'm petty? Wasn't it normal for women to hold grudges? What Heavenly Sword Bureau's #1 military hunk? He's not even worthy of carrying our junior brother's shoes. I heard that this time, he's even shamelessly trying to fight for first place. Where did his courage come from? Qingqing, you can say these words at this table. Don't say such things in the future. Li Chu was the one who fought for him, and he didn't fight for it. Although Li Ge was mean, there was nothing wrong with his character. Moreover, Li Ji's abilities and contributions are all real. I know, Sister Zheng, but I just don't like him. Don't expect me to dump him in the future. Good. One less competitor. Xiao Xiao, be more reserved. Didn't you just say that you're thinking of my little junior brother? Didn't Sister Zheng say that I'm an old cow eating young grass? He humbly accepts criticism and sticks to his Dao heart. Bah, the beauties at the table all spat. Wang Lan didn't stay at the venue for long. After being led to his seat by Su Shiyun brought him backstage in front of Wang Qianfeng. In a bit, Chief Liu will personally confer your rank. Originally, a promotion to first lieutenant wasn't worth such a show of extravagance. But with the current national situation, Sioux City has indeed set a good precedent. In addition, although you've only been promoted to first lieutenant, your contributions aren't small, so we'll make an exception this time. Thank you, Wang Chu, for your support. The country's support and your personal performance in return, this is what you deserve. But I still have to remind you, don't be arrogant, don't be impatient, and fight steadily. I have higher expectations for you, and hope that you can shoulder the burden of the entire human civilization in the future. Wang Chu, this burden is hard to bear. Wang Lan smiled mischievously. You're the son of Yin Emperor. A lot of people are silently watching you from behind. Wang Qianfeng didn't smile mischievously with Wang Lan, and said with a serious face. Seeing Wang Qianfeng's serious expression, Wang Lan also stopped smiling and stood at attention to Wang Qianfeng and seriously saluted. Your humble servant will remember Wang Chu's teachings. That's good. The people silently watching you from behind will hold up the sky with you, and so will we. Sioux City was far away from the suburbs of the prosperous area. This might be a rare rural scene in a highly developed city like Sioux City. Li Gu quietly stood at the top of the tree, looking up at the sky. Only in this place, far away from the lights, could the stars in the sky be seen. Damn, it's already November. Why are there still so many mosquitoes? After a night of watching, I've lost at least 3 pounds. Monkey, do you still have room to lose weight? With so many mosquitoes, if each one of them sucked my blood, wouldn't I lose 3 pounds in one night? Don't be ridiculous. If they really sucked 3 pounds of your blood, you can directly be cremated tomorrow. But to be honest, it's been half a month, and we haven't found anything. When will these days come to an end? Patience. Look, old you post in the group, wow, so many beauties. What a loss. If I knew there would be so many beauties at the celebration party, I would have swapped shifts with someone else. These women, I don't think they're that beautiful when they don't have any makeup on, but now that they've put on makeup, they look like fairies. If I knew, I wouldn't have been so reserved. After tonight, there will be too many wolves and too little meat, and the success rate will directly drop by 10%. That's why we say that East Asia has 3 great sorcery, and those who master will have the miraculous effect of being reborn. You guys. Li Gu recovered from his stargazing state and turned to look at his team members, frowning slightly. If you guys don't want to monitor, you can go back. I'm enough here. Leave the team. That's not what we meant. Yes, it's just a casual remark. How can the celebration party be more important than the mission? We're doing something big, and if this mission is done well, we'll ask the director to specially hold a celebration party for us. That's right. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm speaking the truth. Li Gu said again. No. The mission is more important. I heard that this time, the top merit of Red Maple Forest Park was taken by a newcomer from the intelligence department, and he was promoted to lieutenant at this celebration party. The director personally conferred the rank to him. Why? We were the ones who destroyed the demon's base, and we were the ones who closed the alternate dimension they opened. We lost 6 of our brothers, and the top merit isn't ours? That's right. All he did was provide some information. Don't be jealous, Li Gu shouted faintly. The fact that he provided the information is the top merit. There's nothing to be jealous about. We're jealous that all he did was provide some information, and the intelligence department said that we only helped out a little and got a small part of the credit. This time, the information in Red Maple was the most important. If Wang Lan didn't find any clues, who knows how long we'll be kept in the dark? Leave the team, you're that convinced? It's the truth. There's nothing to be jealous about. If we really want to prove ourselves, then we'll make a bigger contribution and directly overshadow him. Something's wrong. Suddenly, a member of the surveillance team said in a low voice. Chang Yu is packing her clothes. It looks like she's going to run. Did she find out? Li Gu frowned, and his body flashed to the surveillance team's side, and he raised the infrared telescope to look at the target. I don't know. She was playing with her phone, but she suddenly stood up to pack her things. Maybe she found out. Should we arrest her? Li Gu ordered decisively. Should we ask for instructions from the higher-ups? Oh no, she's gone out. There's no time to ask for instructions. Do it. Li Gu took the lead and turned into a ray of light as he shot toward the target. Chang Yu had just gotten into the car, and before she could even start the engine, a strong force suddenly rushed toward her from all directions. The car could not withstand the pressure, and it quickly deformed like a crushed can. Gravity not. Chang Yu's face turned cold. A cold light flashed, and the car was neatly split into 2 from the middle. Chang Yu's body instantly rushed out of the gap between the car, and she escaped into the sky. Press. A visible vibration ripple appeared above her head, and a terrifying pressure came from above, pressing Chang Yu's body to the ground instantly. At this time, Chang Yu saw that she was surrounded by 6 plainclothes Heavenly Sword Bureau members. The six of them worked together to cast a gravity knot, firmly sealing her in the middle. The Heavenly Sword Bureau not only gathered the elites of the Takashi Hoshi, but also a group of strange people. All six of them were only at the middle stage of the Nebula Realm. However, as long as they worked together, they could cast powerful Takashi Hoshi techniques that even galaxy-grade cultivators would not be able to withstand. This was also why Li Good dared to give the order to capture her alive at this time. Electric Volt. Li Good descended from the sky, and brilliant lightning flashed in his palm, as if it had turned into a bolt of heavenly lightning. Crackle. The dazzling lightning instantly hit Changyu, who was restrained by the high voltage. The electric current swallowed Changyu, and beautiful electric arcs danced around Changyu's body. Ah! A deep male voice came out of Changyu's mouth, and in an instant, she fell to the ground as if her strength had been sucked out of her. Li Ji's body did a beautiful flip in the air, and he landed beside the six people. The seven people cooperated very well, and from the beginning to the end, it took less than 3 seconds. Seal, take her down. The six people's astral powers surged again, and the pressure knot shrank instantly, turning into streaks of astral power binding Changyu, who was charred black all over. It was not until Changyu was completely bound that the six people smiled. You should have done this long ago. What's the point of monitoring? When the time comes, we can ask a spiritual imprint expert to mentally corrode her. She'll have to tell us everything in her head. The demon spies are all very stubborn. We haven't caught any alive so far, so how can they be so easily mentally corroded? Isn't she a living spy? As soon as he finished speaking, suddenly, a strong wave of energy rushed toward Changyu. What's going on? Oh no! Suddenly, the skinny man pushed Li Gu aside. Boom! A loud explosion followed. Li Ji's eyes widened in shock as he watched the explosion engulf the six people. Just as he was about to do something, the fireball came whistling toward him. Crackle! Arcs of electricity flowed, and half a second before the fireball engulfed him, he successfully activated the Thunder Shield. In the Heavenly Sword Bureau's cafeteria, I believe that the Heavenly Sword Bureau, which has the right time, place, and people, is invincible. I believe that the Jade State, which is united, is invincible. I also believe that the human civilization, which has been passed down for tens of thousands of years since the ancient times, is invincible. As long as the demons don't give up on destroying the human race will never give up on fighting back. We will carry the burden of human civilization forward and protect the human race until there is no longer any threat from foreign enemies and no longer any worry about inheritance. Tonight, in addition to sharing the joy of victory with all of you, I also want to award the heroes who have won this victory. Let's welcome Wang Lan from the Intelligence Department, who single-handedly obtained the information of the demon's conspiracy and accurately located the demon's hidden base. Lu Zhao finally finished his passionate speech. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Lan, who was wearing a white military uniform with a flame pattern, stepped in the forward step that Su Shiyin had taught him at the last minute, and stepped in front of Director Lu Zhao. He stood at attention and saluted. Chapter 100. Lu Zhao gently took off Wang Lan's epaulette and took out a brand new First Lieutenant epaulette from the tray. He personally put it on for Wang Lan. You are our hero, and also the hero of mankind. I hope you won't be arrogant and impulsive. The future belongs to young people like you. Yes, I won't disappoint the director. You may leave. Wang Lan bowed with a straight face and walked off the stage. Ding! Rank page activated. Congratulations to the host for being promoted to First Lieutenant. The reward is 5,000 experience points and 500 skill points. Next, it was time to toast and celebrate. As the main character of this banquet, Wang Lan was naturally the target of many people. Brothers and sisters, I'm still a student. I can't drink. Wang Lan smiled apologetically. You're already 16 years old. It's okay to drink. That's right. We took the initiative to propose a toast. If you don't drink, you're not giving us face. Can I exchange it for beer? No. How could a soldier not know how to drink? It's only right to practice. I can't hold my liquor. I'll pass out after one glass. Brothers and sisters, please have mercy on me. So many of you are bullying a child. How shameless. Zheng Xiaomao, dressed in red, slowly walked over with a glass of champagne. You're bullying Wang Lan because he's young. Even if he can drink, he won't be able to withstand so many of you. How about this? I'll be the female representative of the Heavenly Sword Bureau. I'll propose a toast to Wang Lan to congratulate him. Wang Lan listened to Zheng Xiaomao's voice. It was very familiar. The last time he saw Zheng Xiaomao was wearing a mask when she was on mission. Seeing Wang Lan's expression, Zheng Xiaomao smiled charmingly. Wang Lan, don't you recognize your sister? You used to have such a sweet mouth. Your sister, Zheng? No wonder your voice sounded so familiar. Sister Zheng was so beautiful. Why did she have to wear a mask back then? Sister Zheng poured the wine for me, and I didn't dare to disobey. I propose a toast to Sister Zheng. If Sister Zheng hadn't saved me in time, I would have died in the hands of the demon soldiers. I won't say many words of gratitude. Sister Zheng, please. Wang Lan raised the wine glass in his hand and downed it in one gulp. That was a 58% white wine. It was like drinking plain water in one gulp. Seeing this, the surrounding comrades in arms all widened their eyes. You call this not knowing how to drink? Good. When I said that little junior brother could drink, he was still pretending. Previously, he didn't know how to drink. Right now, the three old white men were all depressed. We are all soldiers. How can we not know how to drink? That's right. He didn't even blush or pant in one gulp. What a huge amount. Zheng Xiaomao smiled and downed the champagne in her hand in one gulp. Wang Lan, you... Suddenly, Zheng Xiaomao noticed that Wang Lan's condition was a little strange. Why did his face suddenly become so pale? At this moment, Wang Lan opened his mouth slightly. A breath of alcohol came out of his mouth. It was as if his soul had left his body and turned into a cloud above Wang Lan's head. Then, Wang Lan's smile stiffened as she fell backwards. Damn, Wang Lan, are you okay? Little junior brother, Su Shiyin touched Wang Lan's forehead and felt his pulse. A mocking smile appeared on his face. You're really knocked out after a cup. You're a man of your word. I respect you. Ha ha. There was a roar of laughter. Wang Qinxiang and the other 10 senior officials at the same table as Director Lu Zhao were smiling as they looked at Wang Lan, who was in a mess. Director Su hasn't been so happy in a long time. Yes, Director. It's rare to win a big battle. We should be happy. Li Weixin smiled like a flower. Suddenly, his phone rang. Li Weixin smiled apologetically at Lu Zhao. He took out his phone and put it to his ear. What's the matter? After 3 seconds, Li Weixin's smile froze. His eyes were filled with anger. What did you say? How's Li Go? I got it. Weixin, what happened? Lu Zhao put down his chopsticks and asked seriously. Li Go and the others had an accident. There was a strong explosion at the scene. Li Go is unconscious. Shouho and the others. I'm afraid it doesn't bode well for them. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Qianfeng and the others immediately stood up. Vanguard, Weixin, Mingxue, you guys deal with it as soon as possible. Where's Li Go? National Defense Hospital. Is his life in danger? His whole body is covered in burns. He's not out of danger yet. Vanguard, let Wang Lan treat him. His Takashi Hoshi medical skill is most suitable for injuries. Wang Qianfeng strode to Wang Lan. At this time, Wang Lan was still unconscious, although he was helped to a seat. Wang Qianfeng came to Wang Lan and slapped him in the stomach. After a while, Wang Lan's face was covered in sweat. The sweat exuded a strong smell of alcohol. Ugh! Wang Lan let out an unconscious moan and slowly opened his eyes. Where am I? Are you awake? Come with me if you're awake. Wang Lan instantly sobered up. Although his steps were still a bit unsteady, he quickly stood up and left with Wang Qianfeng. In an instant, the whole banquet became quiet. Many people saw the scene of the top management leaving in a hurry and asked in a low voice what happened. Sitting in Wang Qianfeng's car, Wang Lan was taken to the National Defense Hospital. being blown by the cold wind. Wang Lan's drunkenness was completely sobered up. When they arrived at the ICU, Li Ge looked very miserable. His whole body was covered in burns and bandages. In the ward, a very knowledgeable female doctor was installing monitoring equipment all over Li Ji's body. The pain of being burned was several times worse than being injured. Fortunately, Li Ge was unconscious and was not tortured. Wang Lan, treat him. Yes. But Wang Chu, give me 3 soul orbs. The area is so big. Without 3 soul orbs, I can't treat him. Wang Xianfeng looked deeply at Wang Lan and then ordered someone to bring 5 soul orbs. Wang Lan came to Li Ji's bed and reached out to tear off the bandages on Li Ji's body. Suddenly, he was stopped by a hand. What are you doing? Ms. Jiang, Wang Lan is a Takashi Hoshi medical expert from the Heavenly Sword Bureau. His medical martial arts are very effective for injuries. Li Ji's injuries are mainly skin burns. His bandages are coated with oil and special medicine. Try to treat the injuries on his face first. If possible, I'll help you remove the bandages. These bandages are Li Ji's lifeline now. I don't dare to take the risk. Ms. Jiang's tone was full of concern for Li Ge. It was as if Ms. Jiang should know Li Ge. Wang Lan nodded. Ms. Jiang's caution was not wrong. She quickly removed the bandages on Li Ji's face. Li Ji's face was horrifying. It was so bloody that it looked like a steak that had just been served on the table. An ordinary person would have died with such injuries. Wang Lan pressed his hand on Li Ji's forehead. Astral power surged, and the flesh on his forehead quickly formed a scar. Suddenly, Wang Lan looked up in surprise. His astral power seemed to overflow like water, flowing down from his forehead. Normally, Wang Lan treated others with his palm. Wherever his palm touched, that part would be healed by his healing astral power. But this time, Wang Lan's astral power could easily flow around Li Ji's body. But in an instant, Wang Lan understood. Perhaps for the healing of Takashi Hoshi, the skin was actually a whole. No matter whether you touched the skin on the hand or the skin on other parts of the body, skin was skin. It was the same everywhere. As Wang Lan's astral power was consumed, Wang Lan calmly took out a soul orb to absorb the astral power. Under Wang Lan's treatment, Li Ji's bandaged body visibly swelled. Well, what's going on? Ms. Jiang asked nervously. Dr. Jiang, don't be nervous. This is the thick scar on his epidermis swelling. It's like an eggshell forming on the outside of an egg. To treat Li Ge, 1 soul orb was enough for Wang Lan. He asked for 3 soul orbs mainly because he didn't want to lose money. Besides, he didn't like Li Ge, so the 3 soul orbs were naturally deducted from his share. 5 soul orbs was a great deal. Since he had paid such a high price, of course, he would treat Li Ge well. Since most of Li Ji's skin was burned, Wang Lan simply cast a new layer of skin for him with her astral power. She was sure that there wouldn't even be any old scars left on his skin. Done. Wang Lan stopped and picked up a towel to check his sweat. Later, we just need to peel off the scars on his body. When he wakes up, he will be full of energy. Ms. Jiang stared at Wang Lan with her eyes wide open. Everything seemed to challenge her knowledge. She had seen the healing of Takashi Hoshi. She had also seen the powerful healing of Takashi Hoshi. Ms. Jiang wouldn't be surprised if Wang Lan was a Star C medical Takashi Hoshi. However, Wang Lan's astral power was that of Star Blazing. Didn't Star Blazing's healing of Takashi Hoshi only help stop the bleeding? Didn't it only stabilize the injury and prevent it from worsening? Since when did Star Blazing's healing of Takashi Hoshi become so powerful? Was this still the healing of Takashi Hoshi? This was simply rebirth. It only took a few minutes, and a seriously injured and dying person was revived just like that. Ms. Zhang's expression, as if she had seen a ghost, made Wang Qianfeng very happy. Seeing that Wang Lan had completed the treatment, Wang Qianfeng said lightly, "It's okay. You can go back." "Yes, I'll take my leave." Did something happen on Chan Yu's side? "I'm not sure at the moment, but that's most likely the case." Wang Lan saluted and left. He then took the subway directly to the Eastern Heavenly Gate. When he returned home, Wang Lan couldn't wait to open the system. There was a new page on the systems page, the promotion page. At this moment, in the second pane of the page, the first lieutenant epaulette icon had already lit up, but the first pane was dark. I've already been promoted to first lieutenant. Why isn't the second lieutenant icon lit up? System, can you have some intelligence like Xiao AI? Wang Lan, are you complimenting me? Xiao AI's voice sounded in the room. Don't flatter yourself. Order me some takeout. Wang Lan, you just came back from the banquet. Didn't you eat enough? Although you're a Takashi Hoshi, overeating is still very harmful to the body. I just drank a mouthful of wine, and this mouthful of wine was forced out by someone. I'm eating air. Go ahead, it's still the same. Understood. Wang Lan looked at the dark icon on the first pane and thought about asking Wang Chu for a second lieutenant epaulette someday. It was said that without a second lieutenant, life would be incomplete. He shouldn't be unwilling to give it to him. Jade State's military rank system was 3 tiers and 12 levels. Junior officers were from second lieutenant to senior captain, and mid-level officers were from major to senior colonel. Although senior colonel was a mid-level officer in name, even a mid-level officer had thousands of people under him. Senior colonel was especially so. In a normal regiment, he was the commander of a special regiment, such as an armored regiment, an artillery regiment, and even a missile regiment. After being promoted to first lieutenant, he received 500 skill points. Now, Wang Lan's 3 Takashi Hoshi skills were all Silver Peak. Nebula Sword Dance was Silver Level 8. After adding 100 skill points, Nebula Sword Dance was upgraded to Silver Level 9. As for the remaining 400 skill points, Wang Lan added all of them to Inch Punch, upgrading it to Silver Level 7. He couldn't throw away Inch Punch just because he had Takashi Hoshi. Inch Punch might not be as powerful as Flaming Blade. It wasn't as flexible as Nebula Sword Dance. However, Inch Punch had a characteristic that Takashi Hoshi didn't have. It didn't consume star power. Although it used star power, it didn't consume star power. Using star power was only to increase the strength of the body and speed. However, the power of this punch was still dependent on the technique and the terrifying power. After finishing all of this, Wang Lan took a bath in satisfaction and lay down on the bed to sleep. He closed his eyes and tried to guess what had happened that caused Li Gu and his team to be wiped out. Wang Chu, I've investigated clearly. Su Shiyin came in front of Wang Qianfeng and said, Tonight, Li Gu and his team tried to capture Chang Yu, but they underestimated Chang Yu's methods. In the end, Chang Yu self-destructed, and everyone in Li Ji's team except for him died in the explosion. Capture? We didn't give him the order to capture. Wang Qianfeng knocked on the table and said indifferently, Then what's there to guess? It must be Li Gu who was greedy for merit and acted rashly. Today's celebration banquet is Wang Lan's promotion award. Li Gu was going crazy for the promotion these 2 years. Just as he was about to be promoted, Wang Lan beat him to it. He felt uncomfortable and wanted to get another merit to regain his face. However, he didn't expect to go for wool and come home shorn. Chang Yu was the only clue we had to follow up on the demonized Takashi Hoshi. Because of his greed for merit, we were completely cut off. This time, let alone a promotion, he might even be court-martialed. Don't take it out of context. Wang Qianfeng warned. Although Li Gu is a utilitarian, he is very principled. He won't go against his principles for merit. I don't think it's that simple. Who knows? Let's wait for the results of the interrogation from the law enforcement office. Wang Chu, what do we do next? Collect all information on Chang Yu's interactions, especially in the past 6 months. Collect as much information as possible on Chang Yu's every move. Hopefully, we can find something. Li Gu, you said that Chang Yu suddenly found out that she was being watched and then packed up to leave. Under such circumstances, you decided to capture her? Then why didn't you ask for permission before capturing her? Chang Yu's movements were very fast. It was less than a minute after we found out that she was going to run out of the house. It was too late. If we asked for permission, she might have already left. That's why I gave the order to capture her immediately. Who can prove it? He Mingxiu has sharp eyes pierced Li Ji's heart. Chapter 101. Coming out of the interrogation room, Li Ji's body kept shaking. Not because of fear, but because of anger. He couldn't accept the interrogation of the disciplinary department as if they were interrogating a criminal, and he couldn't accept the disciplinary department's judgment of his nature. He was greedy for merit and alerted the enemy, leading to the loss of important clues, a major demerit, and a demotion. Captain Li, how is it? Li Ge walked slowly as if he didn't hear anything. Captain Li, we believe in you. Li Ge still walked like a corpse without a soul. Captain Li Chu wants you to go. Oh. Li Ge turned around and walked to the door of Li Weixin's office. Did it come in? Lieutenant Li Ge, reporting for duty. Lieutenant Li Ge, you accepted your punishment so quickly? Is there any room for me to reject the punishment given by the disciplinary department? Li Ge asked with a bitter smile. You're not convinced? How do you expect me to be convinced? As if Li Weixin ignited a barrel of gunpowder, Li Ge roared furiously. What evidence do they have to say that I was greedy for merit? What basis do they have to deny the truth of what I said? Chang Yu suddenly packed up and left in less than a minute. I asked for permission, and she ran away. Was I wrong to give the order to arrest her? Chang Yu self-destructed. She didn't escape from my hands. How can my actions be judged as a failure? Li Chu, do you think He Mingxu's judgment is fair? Does he not have the slightest intention of standing up for Wang Lan? Enough. Li Weixin angrily slammed the table and stood up. You can still stand in front of me and shout at me, but Lu Hua and the others can't even gather their corpses. You have the face to shout? Now, go and take a look at the bodies of your brothers. Look at them and see if you can still roar. Li Weixin's words caused Li Ji's face to reveal a pained expression. I didn't want to. I really didn't think they were my brothers. I'm not convinced. I'm not only feeling indignant for myself, but also for them. They all died in battle, but the conclusion was that they were greedy and rash, the woo-woo-woo. Now you know how to cry and regret? Why didn't you think of that when you ordered the arrest? Your mission is to monitor Chang Yu's every move. Monitoring is monitoring. Why do you have to order an arrest? Even Wang Qianfeng and He Mingxue were not confident that they could keep Chang Yu here. What kind of skill do you have? What kind of ability do you have to keep her here? Do you really think you're the #1 genius of the Heavenly Sword Bureau? Things have been going too smoothly for you all these years. Have you forgotten your own limitations? But I almost succeeded. How do you know that your near success wasn't a trap deliberately set by Chang Yu? Just to lure you all to her side and then drag you all down with her. Do you really think that self-destruction is a last resort when you have no other way out? Since she's being monitored by the Heavenly Sword Bureau, then she can't escape from our grasp. Do you think that just because she's out of your sight, she's out of the Heavenly Sword Bureau's sight? Dream on. Even Chang Yu knows better than you. Only an idiot like you would think that Chang Yu is running away. Was she trying to escape? She knows that she's been exposed, so she pretends to run away to lure you all closer. Then, she self-destructs to destroy her trail and drag you all down with her. Do you dare say that when you ordered the arrest, you didn't have any greedy thoughts? If you reported it, the intelligence department would still be able to track Chang Yu. In Sioux City, there are cameras everywhere. She can't go anywhere. Do you really not understand, or do you not want to understand? Do you still feel wronged? Do you still feel wronged? After being reprimanded by Li Weixin, the stubbornness in Li Ji's eyes crumbled. Ever since he woke up, he had always thought that he was right. He had almost succeeded. If he had even sealed her head back then, it wouldn't be like this. But at this moment, all his perseverance had vanished in Li Weixin's sharp words. What if it had been Chang Yu's trap from the beginning? What if Chang Yu had planned to drag them down with her from the beginning? He wasn't wrong, but he was hopelessly wrong. Li Ge slowly squatted down and covered his face as he wailed. Wipe away your tears. The soldiers of the Heavenly Sword Bureau won't wear tears on their faces. His crying stopped abruptly. This time, you're wrong, but I hope you can learn from your lesson. I don't want to see you dispirited after just one setback. It's not scary to fall, but it's scary to not be able to stand up after falling. Yes, Because of the major incident with Chang Yu, the clues to the cause of the demonized Takashi Hoshi were completely cut off. Wang Lan really wanted to join Su Shiyun's investigation plan, but he still had to go to school. A student was an identity that could provide protection, but at the same time, it was an identity that could impose restrictions. At least, Wang Lan didn't have the ability to break free of the restrictions of being a student. You dare to quit school? You can try. His aunt, Wang Qianfeng, and the school would make Wang Lan quickly recognize reality. But, seeing such a big mission in front of her, which was emitting an alluring fragrance, Wang Lan really wanted to take a bite. Wang Lan refreshed the Heavenly Sword Bureau's bulletin board when he had nothing to do. He didn't find any clues about Chang Yu, but he did find a promotion announcement. The 6 Heavenly Sword Bureau soldiers who sacrificed themselves in the process of capturing Chang Yu were posthumously awarded the second-class Martyr's Medal. Then, there was a punishment report for Li Ge. Li Ge was suspected of being greedy and reckless. He would be recorded with a major demerit, demoted by 1 rank, and demoted by 1 rank. Wang Lan couldn't comment on Li Ge's behavior. At least, he couldn't be sure if Chang Yu really chose to escape after discovering that she was being watched. But he was sure that Li Ge would take the blame. A week later, on Sunday, Wang Lan was about to go to the Heavenly Sword Bureau to understand the situation, but Su Shiyun took the initiative to come. Wang Lan hurriedly invited Su Shiyun into the house. Damn, your house is so big. How many rooms are there? There aren't many rooms, only 6 of them. Wang Lan invited Su Shiyun to the sunroom. Bathing in the warm autumn sun, the cells in his body seemed to have been revived. Brother Su, why did you suddenly come today? Is there anything I can do for you? Nothing. I'm just depressed. This mess was created by Li Ge. Why should I clean up for him? You were so quick when you stole the credit, but now you're cleaning up the mess. Why aren't you enthusiastic? Wasn't he punished? Wang Lan smiled and put the coffee in front of Su Shiyun. Even if you want to do something now, the higher-ups won't let you, right? Serve him right. Su Shiyun sneered and said, if he hadn't been greedy and rashly tried to capture us, we might have already been monitoring him. In fact, this time Chang Yu's sudden escape was monitored by our comrades in the communications department. We thought that she might meet up with other demon spies and wanted to follow the vine to find the melon. We didn't expect Li Ge to ruin it. I don't think Chang Yu would be so stupid as to meet up with others when she knew she was being monitored. By the way, how were they discovered by Chang Yu? Someone should have tipped them off. Before Chang Yu left, someone used a public phone to call Chang Yu. After that, Chang Yu was ready to escape. We immediately tracked him down after learning about it, but unfortunately, he ran away. Did you find any clues in Chang Yu's house? No, we didn't find anything. Chang Yu was monitored by us for half a month, and we didn't find anything during this time. Chang Yu's life is very regular, or the demon spy is very regular. Other than work, she would go home after work to play with her phone and read. She never goes out, and she doesn't have any good friends. When Chang Shuangyue got into trouble, she didn't act strangely at all. What else could there be? Didn't she kill Chang Shuangyue with her own hands? We said that Chang Shuangyue deliberately hurt people and was arrested, and Chang Yu's performance was impeccable. At that time, we didn't know that Chang Yu had a problem. And wait, suddenly, Su Shiyun paused. We were sure that Chang Yu had a problem, but not many people knew about it. Even Chang Yu thought that she hid herself well and only found out after receiving a report. How did the person who reported her know? Could there be a spy? Wang Lan asked solemnly. We can't rule out this possibility. It seems that the Heavenly Sword Bureau needs to carry out an internal investigation. Brother Su, Chang Yu was replaced by the demons half a year ago. So, is there anyone that Chang Yu knew in the past 6 months? I'm following this line of investigation, but I haven't found anything yet. Her colleagues haven't found anything suspicious yet. But now we don't dare to rule out the possibility easily. Chang Yu can avoid our sophisticated detection equipment, and other demons should be able to do the same. Maybe Chang Yu's accomplice is someone in Rinha Hospital. Su Shiyun stayed in Wang Lan's house for a while and then left. His purpose in coming here was to vent his grievances. Anyway, Chang Yu was dead, leaving behind a big mess. It was almost impossible for the intelligence department to continue to find clues from the mess left behind. Although Wang Lan felt that it was a pity, what else could he do? At night, Wang Lan was excitedly doing the questions when the penguin number in front of his computer suddenly flashed, and a message from Jiang Xinyu popped up. "Happy birthday, huh?" Wang Lan took out his phone and glanced at it. Sure enough, it was his birthday today. Wang Lan even forgot his own birthday. It seemed, in his previous life, Wang Lan read a passage. Before a man turned 30, he would remember his birthday every year. On that day, he would hope that someone would send him a blessing, and that someone would still remember him. After turning 30, except for the people who cared about him the most, even he would forget his own birthday. After turning 30, the only people who would still send you birthday blessings were family members. It seemed that he had to call himself old man in the future. Wang Lan smiled and replied with a thank you. On the other side of the network, Jiang Xinyu bit her finger and hesitated. What should she say? She didn't want to have such an awkward conversation. But there didn't seem to be anything to say, right? Beep, beep, give me the red packet. Jiang Xinyu smiled and sent a red packet without hesitation. 1 cent? Are you still the rich woman I know? At least more than you. On my birthday, you didn't even send me a red packet. Through the network, the two of them bickered very smoothly. If they were face to face, Wang Lan probably wouldn't have the guts to be so cheeky. Just as he was about to counterattack, Wang Lan's face suddenly changed. He frowned, and a thought flashed through his mind like a meteor. Suddenly, Wang Lan stood up, picked up his coat, and hurried out. Jiang Xinyu was typing quickly when she suddenly stopped. At the bottom right corner, the other party's penguin number was already offline. After being stunned for half a second, Jiang Xinyu took a deep breath. The moonlight tonight is quiet and beautiful, suitable for murder. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.